A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. I'll lullaby you here all night. I need a mic check. What's up, Kareem? Thank you. Salute to you as well, sir. Good to see you here nice and early. I'm appreciating you guys meeting me at this time because I told you that On the Block with Jen is going to stream at 7 p.m. Eastern, okay? Instead of what we used to do, which was like 9. It's just better for the panel. It's better for the people watching. It's better for everybody. It's better for everybody, okay? Let me get a mic check. Let me know if I'm coming in clear. I don't sound like I'm in a cup. I'm talking underwater. I'm across the street. Yes, Steve, I'm starting early. I'm doing 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're not going to do late nights anymore except for our Freaky Friday and Sexy Saturdays. Then we'll be late. But during the week, we're going to be earlier. All right, thank you. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to another episode of On the Block with Jen. I'm YouTube's bad girl and your favorite Wonder Woman and Devil's Advocate, Jen. You know, you can reach me on all social media platforms, On the Block with Jen on TikTok, On the Block with Jen on Instagram, On the Block with Jen on Facebook, On the Block with Jen at Gmail, okay? If you want to Gmail me a topic, all right, a question, a suggestion, that is your suggestion box. On the Block with Jen at Gmail. Okay, I get lots of mail in there, so make sure you put something in the subject title, do capital letters if you want me to see you, okay, because I get a lot of mail in there. With that said, doesn't mean I'm gonna pick your topic out of the bunch and share it with my panel and my chat, because sometimes the topics are probably old, or it's kind of like, oh, I don't really have anything to add to this. I really like talking about topics that I feel like I can add something to and that my panel can dissect for everybody, okay? So throw your topics, your suggestions in there. I may pick one out. I may invite you up. Speaking of inviting you up, everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome to pull up to the block, but we need your face, okay? We don't debate avatars here. We don't argue with these people. We do not debate avatars and cartoons. You have to show your face, say it with your chest, say it with your face up here, okay? But everyone's invited. I dropped the link. You can come on up and argue with us, debate us, retort, rebut, whatever you got, right? Up your ass or up your sleeve that you want to get off your chest, you could just come up and say it with your face, okay? Yeah, you gotta say it with your face. Faces are good. Faces are more interesting. If you want to support the show and help Mama keep the church lights on, okay? By the way, shout out to Afro Universe, who gave me a very generous and amazing donation when I wasn't even on, okay? This is what I am talking about. If you want to support the show and you're catching a replay, hit me on the Cash App. You see it scrolling by, right? I'm also on the Block with Jen Cash App if you want to support the show and you're catching the replay. If not, you can support me live, throw something in the super chat. I hear you better. I hear your comment better when it's in a super chat. Crazy, I know, but money clears up my hearing. Who'd have thunk it? So thank you for always holding me down with super chats. Thank you for holding me down with your comments. Thank you for holding me down with your shares. I appreciate all of it. Most importantly, I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. And I'm hoping you can rock with us early in the day. Like I said, we start at 4 now, PST, 7 p.m. EST, okay? And on the weekend, Friday, Freaky Fridays, our Freaky Fridays, where we talk about sex and all kinds of yummy stuff, is later on in the night, and Saturday is later on in the night. But during the week, we want you to get to bed early and get to your other business. So we hitting y'all 4 p.m. PST and 7 p.m. EST, okay? Keep drilling that, pause, so you guys can remember it, because you guys are used to me coming late, but then everybody was complaining that it was too late and they were sleepy, right? So here we all are. Glad to see you here. So tonight's topic, let me drop the link for my people and anyone else who wants to come up. It's an interesting topic, okay? I don't know. You guys may feel like I'm caping for y'all tonight. The gentlemen may feel like I'm caping for them tonight. I may be with this topic. I just may be, okay? I just may be. Just something I'm observing from women. You guys already know how I feel about marriage, and if you don't, tune in tomorrow. I will break it down again, okay? But tonight specifically, there goes the StreamYard from my people. Tonight specifically is gonna be, do women want marriage more than they want a husband? You guys have said you guys have heard me say it a million times, okay? Women want marriage, but it comes with a whole husband, right? Women want marriage so they could do this on Instagram, right? And show everybody their engagement ring. They take pictures with their man and they put their hand just like this on his chest. Do you notice that on Instagram when a woman gets engaged or she's married? She's like, she has to hold her hand like this on the man's chest so everybody could see she's married and spoken for, and someone said forever for her, right? Women are very big about that fucking ring. They're very big about the engagement. They're very big about the weddings and the bridesmaids and the flowers and the bouquets, right? Men are usually not as involved as women are for weddings, right? It's the woman's day. It's the bride's day. That's the things we hear, right? Happy wife, happy life. It's all about the woman. Here's the kicker. The woman, 9 times out of 10, or 75%, if you believe a good statistic, it rose up to 80%, but 75 to 80% of the time women file for divorce. That is not a lie. Sounds to me like you guys are betting on something and the odds are against you. The odds are not in your favor, right? Turns out women want to get the fuck up away from you 75% to 80% of the time. So do women want marriage more than they want a husband? You will also, if you mistakenly call a married woman Mrs., it's Mrs., she will correct you with a lot of fervor in her voice. She has to let you know she is a Mrs. and you're going to get it right. That is what women do. It is a badge of honor when a man gets on his knee and says forever, despite who that man may be, where he comes from. And don't think that they only want wealthy men. They want the ring. They don't care who the ring comes from. They want that Mrs. I had a debate today on Facebook, but before I get into that, I'm going to bring mi gente up. The lovely and talented Lily from YB Limited. Hello, beautiful.
Hello, hello, hello.
And No Saint on White People Time. How are you?
Hey.
I love it.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good afternoon.
Lily, I'm doing the Wonder Woman. You mentioned Wonder Woman yesterday, and I was like, I got that.
That is so funny because I loved Wonder Woman. Oh my God. As a kid, I used to make little bracelets and stuff and do like this, and nobody can hurt me if I did that.
Let me tell you, I have I'm one of them girls that I have a screen print t-shirt for everything. It's like, oh, I have a t-shirt for that. I have it.
And you have the
yeah, I wish I had two. Look, I wish I had two. I only got the one, and it's time for me to get a new one. This thing is unraveling like slicing.
You know, around the same time as Wonder Woman was doing, and I remember that too, because I always thought that was kind of cool with the break. I was always making the sound of for Steve Austin, the $6 million.
Yes, we are. Yes, we is. Yeah, no, Wonder Woman was everything. Linda Carter, when she did that spin, yeah. So I'm giving you a little Clark Kent, a little Wonder Woman, a little Clark Kent, a little Wonder Woman.
Right, little contrast going on.
Okay, you see, I'm doing that. So, mi gente, my beautiful panel. Speaking of my beautiful panel, you can be part of my beautiful panel on this evening and any other evening if you came up with your face. I did drop the link, so if you want to come up here after you listen to what we say, if it tickles your booty hole, feel free to come on up and say it with your face, okay? We will accept you here, open arms, right?
And I have a house guest tonight. Until this weekend, so she might overhear something and might want to sit down and say, "Oh hell nah!"
Yes,
so don't be surprised when somebody sits next to me and just start talking.
Yes, the more the merrier. So, my people, I had a debate. Me debating, who'd have thunk it?
Right.
I had a debate on Facebook, and I was surprised, but not surprised at the same time. What was the subject, really quickly, so we could jump into this topic? They were talking about, this guy was talking about what type of woman he was attracted to, right? And he had some women in hip hop and what have you. And this woman made a comment. It's so funny that Erykah Badu and who was the other girl? Erykah Badu and Lauryn Hill are not married. never been married. But ain't it funny how, this is what the lady said, ain't it funny how Nicki Minaj and Cardi B are married, and they got married before they had children. Meanwhile, the other trollops, Lauryn Hill and who did I say? Lauryn Hill and Erykah Badu, they're just having kids with abandon. I said, ain't that some shit? So I was like, ooh, I want a piece of this. Let me get in there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want a little piece of that. Looks tasty.
Mm-hmm.
So I jumped right in there and I said, but ma'am, I was like, those two are married to, one of them is married to a convicted rapist, not a rumor, a convicted rapist who has to register on a sex offender list wherever he goes. And she's financially supporting him. The man does not have a job. Okay. He's some high school sweetheart from back in the day. And although Nicki Minaj traveled the entire earth, she decided her husband should be some pookie that she met way back in Queens, and she circled back for him. She spun the block. Okay. Nicki Minaj, the global superstar. She said, who should I marry? I'm gonna go back and get that guy who was convicted of rape and has to register on the sex offenders list. I think that's my guy. I've traveled the world. I've been around celebrities, actors, singers, wealthy men. But I think that's my guy, the guy back in Queens. I'm going to go pick him up and dust him off. I'm going to marry him, and we're going to have children together. That's what we're going to do. That's what Nicki Minaj did. Cardi B is married to Offset, as everybody knows. What does he do? He cheats on her. He cheats on her repeatedly and cheats on her while she's pregnant. Well, these are the husbands that lady was talking about. Well, at least Nicki Minaj and Cardi B's married. And I was like, holy fuck, I see it now.
Yeah.
So you bitches don't care who puts the ring on, long as a missus is attached. And then it came to me. You give a fuck more about being married and having a ring than you give a fuck about who the husband is. And you guys may or may not remember, I always say women want the ring. They forget it comes with a whole husband, right? And it's high time we talk about it. Let's put a little spotlight on the women. The wedding, the marriage is usually all about the women. The quotes are all about the women. Happy wife.
Happy life.
Okay. All about the ring. It has to be, what is it? No, say 3 months salary.
Something crazy like that. Yeah.
Something.
Is that what we're doing now? Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3 months salary or something. That's how much the ring is supposed to be. The ring is important, right? The women get engaged. The man gets down on one knee, and the woman does this on Instagram. The man doesn't, right? He doesn't. He doesn't. She puts the hand on him whenever they take a picture. Right? I know you've seen those pictures.
Oh yes. And it's always on the woman's page, and the only time it's on the man's page is when she tags it and he accepts it.
Hello. So, women, marriage. They want marriage? Do they want that ring? But not so much the husband. And do we have proof of that? Because women file for divorce 75 to the time. And I know when they got married and they said, yes, I will marry you, they were all in, okay? They were ear deep into the idea of this man wants to marry me. Then something happens a few years down the line, and she's like, okay, I'm good now. I'm gone. I had the party and the bachelorette party, and I went to Vegas, and I went to Magic Mike, and I had a gay old time, and now I'm done. I don't want to be your wife anymore. So I need this alimony and this child support, and you have a good one. What do you think?
I think you are spot dead on with this. I think we've all got those calls from our girlfriends. Hey girl, I met a guy. Oh my God, he's so awesome. And they're giving you the updates and things like that. And then it's like, boom, we're getting married. Hold on. Because you've been sharing every detail with me. And if you're that friend that tries to talk reason into them, what are you called?
The hater.
There you go. All right. You're either a hater or you're, I don't need this negativity. You're coming with negative energy. Well, guess what? I don't have to pay the consequences. So go right on ahead. Let me know where to show up to, and I'll be there. Right. It's really crazy when I look at the whole, the need for marriage. And what it is, I base it on a lot of this stuff is society oriented, right? When we like, I don't watch a lot of TVs and movies, but whenever and when you don't and you go watching television and you see commercials and movies and shows that are out, you realize a lot of things, right? Because you've taken a step back, and I'm like, I can see why people feel like they're not shit if they're not in a relationship, if they're not married, because they like overtly and covertly in movies, magazines, television, commercials tell you that you're not shit if you're not married, right? That's the prize. That's the goal. But then once you get to that prize and that goal, it's like, what next? Right? It hasn't been thought all the way through, because all I'm thinking about is getting down this damn aisle. I don't care how I get down this damn aisle. I don't care who I get down this aisle with. I just need to get down this aisle. And I'm getting older too. Oh, I got to get that. And I'm getting, and I need to have these kids. I have to have these kids. You know, then you get these kids, you realize I don't even like them. So it's like, it's a lot to do with society, I believe. And people fall for that instead of working on themselves first and seeing what they really want. Because I honestly, in my opinion, don't believe that most people are built for marriage.
Amen. Amen. The heavens.
That's just my, unpopular opinion, based off of my own life, and is based off of the lives around people around me. And I'm even including some married people, because a lot of times I'm like, y'all don't make this shit look appealing. Okay. I'm just saying. So that's my take on it. No, say, what are the white people talking about?
What's going on over there?
Yeah, what's going on over there? Say, no, say.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying, what Jen's saying, and I think you're right, Lily, as far as like we are kind of programmed through TV, through to the goal is you grow up one day, you marry someone you love, possibly have kids, and so we all kind of fall for the happily ever after. And really, when you're young, the love's kind of new with these different women, whoever you're with, and you think you want to spend forever with that person. But I think there's a difference in what you're talking about, Jen, as far as like women wanting the wedding. That's the exciting part. And then reality will set in later on. And for a guy, we are trying to get the prize, right? We're trying to get that prize. And then again, within years, if you have kids, a lot of other stresses come in there, and you no longer, some can, I imagine, but it's really hard to keep up what you initially had in the beginning because life hits you. So I think I think some men are the same way. We think we want to be married, and we think we want to, you have that fantasy, but it's hard. It really is hard. And like Lily said, it's like, it's not for the weak-hearted, that's for sure. There's a lot of ups and downs, and there's no guarantees, that's for sure.
Right. And then, men think they want to be married, and then they go to the office in 3 years, and I'm answering the phone because I'm the receptionist. Good morning.
I wanted to ask you something, Jen. This happened to me just the other, my friend that I went to high school with, he was an exchange student from Spain. He's been here twice in the last 6 months. He's been doing, there's some where they come into conference, right? Like a big conference, whatever. Anyway, so I went to see him, and there were a bunch of people from Spain, one girl from Tunisia. And I'm just kind of curious because, I was showing her, one of the girls, a picture of, I can't remember what it was, but it was something innocent. And she's like leaning in with her boob. And I'm like, well, okay, I know I feel her boob on my head. She's got to feel her boob pushing into my arm. I'm like,
I call it the titty hug. No, Saint, continue.
Yeah. And I'm thinking of, and it just made me think. I'm like, I mean, even though I'm older and everything, sometimes I think I'm really naive when it comes to that. Like, does this girl does she feel that, or is it just is she doing that shit on purpose?
Yes.
She didn't just get them yesterday. She knows how to work those things.
Yes. I literally call it the titty hug. Like when we're flirting or feeling a guy and we like do the picture, take a picture, right titty on him. You know what I mean? You can feel that titty. Women do it all the time. I had a woman do it to me on the fucking subway in New York City. Like my hand was holding the pole in New York City and she was just like leaning her titty up, and I was like, "Hey, you want your titty up against my knuckles? You like it? I love it." But I get and I'm not bringing you with me. But
thanks for the cheap thrill.
Right? It's like you like it, I love it. But I get off on 183rd. I have a lady. But women can feel where their damn titties are being pressed up against. Going back to something Lily said, it's so we're so conditioned by this "you're supposed to be married" thing. And let's be clear, right? People say marriage is a what do you call it? A marriage is what's the word?
Institution?
Yes. Okay, it's an institution.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's a business.
Yes.
Okay. It's what everything else that used to be sacred turned into. It's a business. Christmas used to be about Christmas is a business. Okay, it's a business. Thanksgiving is a business. It's all a business.
We got Valentine's Day coming up.
Big business. So conditioned to the point where two people weaponize it: single men and married women. Married women will attack a single woman with her Mrs. badge. Well, you're not even married. I'm married. Or she'll throw little shots. You know what I mean? Well, my husband and blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm a married woman, so I can't relate to what you peons are doing, you single people, right? They literally wear it as a badge. And men, we've seen it over and over again. They weaponize it whenever they're debating a woman. They think that's the ammunition. That's the extra magazine in their back pocket.
Yes, it is.
I'm popping off these bullets, but in a minute, you know what I mean? I'm going to pull out the magazine and reload and ask, are you married? Right? So it's weaponized by single men, right? Single men that aren't even married themselves. They weaponize it, right? That's how indoctrinated and brainwashed we are. But human beings are cattle. They even weaponize like how many followers you have on Instagram. If you have a debate with somebody on Instagram, you only got 500 followers. Right? And that's supposed to mean something, like your word means nothing because you only got 500 followers, right? So humans are cattle. They just go with the flow. Whatever they think brings value to somebody, even if it's not valuable at all. Okay? Because in my opinion, Nicki Minaj being married to a sex offender, a convicted rapist, it's not a flex. A man that she is financially taking care of. So who bought her ring? Who bought that big diamond ring? Who paid for that honeymoon? That's not a flex to me. But even when you're married to the most degenerate human being that humanity can produce, women still put her above a Lauryn Hill, who's had the best-selling female rap album in the history of hip-hop. That doesn't matter. Lauren's not married. That's what matters, right? Erykah Badu. Who cares about Erykah Badu and her accomplishments? Who gives a damn? Who cares? When Cardi B is married to Offset, who's cheating on her while she's pregnant. Who cares what Erykah Badu is done and doing? Who cares? And this is the reality. It is weaponized. But the funny thing is, when men weaponize it, it's hilarious because they're the ones that get the short end of the stick and get fucked in the ass with divorce 75% to 80% of the time. And I love that number. If you notice, I'm always saying it, but I just love that number because it's proof to men that women don't give a fuck about marriage as much as you think they do and as much as you weaponize it. Women don't give a damn about y'all. That is why they take off 75 to 80% of the time and leave you holding the bag and you're nuts.
Yeah. It is a bad. Well, actually, no. It's just the wedding. It's just the wedding. It's all about the wedding. You know, it's funny. I was at this restaurant, like one of those kind of Irish pub, bar/restaurant situations. I think that's what we were at. Wherever we were at, there was a group of girls there. Obviously, they're part of a bachelorette party. Everyone had their sashes on and everything. But what's so funny, everyone's sash and even the bride's crown said, they didn't say bridesmaids or anything. They said one penis party. So I was like, one penis party? And I'm like, this doesn't sound fun, but you all look fun. I'm like, I don't know what to make of this. I need to tap someone on the shoulder and find out about this one penis. Are you sharing this one penis? Like, what is going on with this one penis? Mm-hmm. So I had to tap somebody on the shoulder, and then I'm like, hey, what's going on with the penis? And then they explain, and they're drunk by this time, so they're really going in. They're like, this dumb bitch is getting married. She doesn't realize she's only going to have one penis for the rest of her life. Crazy. White girls too, so they were white girl drunk. Fun as I don't know what, right?
You're wasted.
Oh, it was the best. It was the best. And they were young too, and I was like, damn. That was just kind of hurt just thinking about it. I'm just sitting there looking at the girl like, how old are you again?
Like, don't do it. Don't do it. Congratulations. Don't.
Yeah, right.
Congratulations. Don't do it. You still have time.
Like, what?
I wish you the best. Too bad that the groom won't be at his bachelor party, one vagina party.
Right.
Not usually how men look at it. Right? They usually banging the stripper at the bachelor party if they can.
If they can.
If they can. To Mr. Observation 84, listen, honey, it's too early for me to snap, but let me say this to you, darling, okay? 84, let me say this to you, darling. I know for a fact how hard y'all cape for your rapist. I know it. And more so if you're Black and the rapist is Black. I get it. I know y'all go hard for the rapist and y'all some rape apologist motherfuckers in this bitch. But to be clear, she never recanted her story. She doubled down over and over and over again. What had happened was, after she was raped by that man, when she was young, her foster mother was telling her, don't bring no trouble up in this house. So she didn't want to bring no trouble up in the house. But either way, she went to the hospital and called the police right after the rape. They did the rape kit. The kid was fucking convicted. So she did not lie. That woman has never, ever said that didn't happen. She has a YouTube page and she has an Instagram page, and her story remains intact and the same as the first day that it happened. Okay? All right?
It hasn't changed.
I know y'all like caping for y'all rapists. I know y'all do, especially when they're attached to a celebrity. But no, he did that shit. Okay? Moving on. So, now I did my research, honey. I spoke to her attorney. So I'm a little more tied in. I did my research. I don't just sit up here and talk shit. Moving on. Back to the topic. Hit the like button for me. These people think they're talking to an amateur. They're so used to the talking heads on YouTube, right? I'm not that, honey. Okay, I'm not that. I spoke to her attorney. I know the story. She never recanted. She never took it back. Okay, moving forward. So since men obviously are getting the short end of the stick, what is the future to hold? The rumor is marriage is supposedly declining. For both parties, by the way. For
both parties around the world.
Yes, for both men and women. Like, we're evolving to the point where people are not going to be able to weaponize that you marry shit for much longer. Now, here's the thing. With that said, right? I'll give you I wish I had a little teeny version. Yeah, but I only got my big version, but I wish I had a little teeny one. Okay? There are some people that can get married and do it well. Unfortunately, those people are far and few in between. They're really, really more rare than you think. 9 times out of 10, well, 75% or 80% of the time, you're not in a marriage that is going to sustain the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows. You're just not. You're just not.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not. And it's not me saying it, it's statistics saying it, right? And some people will argue, Lily, the video you sent me today that we're going to get into tomorrow. People are like, well, divorce is down. That's because marriage is down.
Yeah.
Right?
There's always people like throwing statistics out and not looking at the variables. That's always a problem.
Yeah, I think especially with the younger generations around the world, they are waking up to a lot of things that were important to us.
Let me, Lily, I'm so sorry. And you know I love you. I'm not just going to interrupt you. What y'all not going to do, and I see y'all in the chat, some of y'all are my regulars, and I appreciate you, but I will kick you through the block uprights, and you will never type one letter again in my chat. I don't play with the rapist shit and the pedophile shit. So no, let's not free R. Kelly. Let's castrate him, behead him in the middle of a town square. All right? That shit's not funny to me. That man raped children. Okay? It's not cool. I know everybody's always key. This isn't the Star Report chat room. Okay? You guys can go over there, say all kinds of wild shit. I don't have that over here. We protect women over here. Right? So let's just behave. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you not to be a fucking asshole. Right? You were saying, Lily.
It's marriage is down around the world because I feel like a lot of people are waking up to Mr. Observation got to go because he obviously didn't get the memo. But a lot of people are.
Sir, I'm not gonna, I'm not your mama. If your mama didn't hit you over the head enough with that rolled up newspaper, I'm not gonna fill it. I'm not gonna do it. You can go. Okay, Kelly.
Because I feel like a lot of young people are waking up to things that we were conditioned to think as long as we had these symbols of success that they will make us happy. And I think this newer generation is looking like, yeah, a lot of that shit didn't make y'all happy. Yeah. So we need to find out, I'm not saying that they're right or wrong, just saying that they're doing things differently. They're like, we're learning from things that that don't seem appealing to us. We're looking at Facebook and we're seeing the conversations, and you all don't seem like this. Just doesn't seem too appealing. So I'm going to exercise other options, and what that may look like is, being asexual. That may look like being polygamous. That may look like being a serial dater. We got Miss Lori Harvey that says, kiss my ass, I'm gonna do what I want to do. That can be someone who is hypergamous and it's like Lori Harvey that's not apologizing. Like, listen, this is what I want. This is the deal. They're making arrangements because that's what it really is at the end of the day. And then the other part, I think we mentioned this on a podcast before about checking in, like kind of renegotiating the terms and conditions every now and then. I feel like any relationship can benefit from that because you might be coasting and thinking everything is all good. And then you check in and you realize, oh, you're unhappy. Oh, well, I was good, but let's hear it, So, and the other thing is I'm a firm believer in marriage counseling prior to getting married, both for the individual and the couple. I see that that's a big thing that is missing because if you can get to the real deal issues, you can make a more informed decision on whether this is the right person to marry or if I should get married or should we wait. Because a lot of times we allow our emotions to make our decisions. And, I remember the part of my life when I started realizing that, oh, wow, under certain emotions, I don't make the best choices. So do not trust yourself, me, under these particular emotions. I have to put those to the side and let my logic think for me. So
what's interesting with what you said, seek therapy prior, seek therapy during, have to reassess. a couple months in, like, do we still like each other now that we're doing this thing? Reassess after you have children. I said here before, people like, you changed because you got money. You changed after you got married. You changed after you had children, because it is a different person. It is a different person. Me single, no children is a different Jen. Me Jen with children is a different Jen. Me no money, me lots of money is a different Jen. You know what I mean? So it is quite natural that you're no longer the same person. The problem is when two people come together, girl meets boy, they get together, that's one version of themselves. Boy as a father is a different person. He has a different amount of stress. He has different thoughts about the future. That's a different guy. Her, we got stretch marks now. The boobs are down to here. We packed on a little pounds. That's a different girl meets boy. That's a different girl. Now she's worried. Is he going to like somebody else? I don't like my body. It's a different girl. And that's why it's so important that you reassess. You come to the table every couple months. Are you good? Are you good sexually? How's our money? What are we doing? And they don't do that. And this institution of marriage is so jacked that there's an abundance of priority put on the wedding, the dress, the bachelor party, the bachelorette party. There's so much emphasis on that, when that money, first of all, should be saved first and foremost.
Doubt.
Okay? And whatever else, if you're going to spend it to dedicate it to a marriage, use it for therapy.
Oh, haven't heard that one before. Now you
So exactly what and I thought of this a long time ago too, when you talk about when I was engaged, when I was young, like before I should have been even thinking about getting married. And we were looking at the reception hall and looking at this, and I was looking at them even back then, and I was thinking, why don't we just, I was thinking to myself, why can't you just take this money and like, this would be great for something else? This you're talking about one night. But the problem is, this is the problem. If you told everybody who was supposed to come their way, hey, listen, we're going to get together. We're going to do this like my mom's house. But all those gifts and that, we want to just put that money together because we want to get a house. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. They're not going to give you a dime. They're like, hell no. And not just that. There's these, like we talked about, the programming you get young. A woman has a certain thing that she gets, programmed to think of, the prince and the happily ever after, and the men, we do too, in a certain, to be the man and all these things. And the problem is you get programmed like that. And then we're talking about the wedding ring. Still today, all the time, that's all you hear about is, hey, that 15 karat ring, clear, no faults. For your girl, for that wedding, or, show her how much you love her by buying this ring. Valentine's Day, show her how much you love her by getting her these gifts. You can go on and on. So it's all revolving, and these are industries. So you have the industry of the wedding reception. The church is going to charge you a certain amount. And then you have an industry of, well, let's talk about it. You have the divorce industry, and like your guest a few weeks back talked about the people that are taking your child support payments. So you're employing a lot of people.
A lot of people.
So it really behooves them to keep this going. And as far as our generation, we got our like the in between of yesterday and today, because we watched our grandparents who lived through the Great Depression and lived through the early 50s, 60s, 70s, where things were, the women really didn't have, they weren't, some of them were not allowed to get certain jobs. I remember when a nurse was a female, right? And the doctor was that was the stereotype. That's what you thought. Like, you're going to be a nurse, almost like Meet the Fockers, you're a nurse talking to, like something's wrong with that, right? But so we're in between that. We're in between the so-called greatest generation, where they had to stay together forever because that was the way, and now we're, and we saw that growing up. So we thought that was the way it was, but it really wasn't the way it was. And things changed on us. So now this next generation, things move so fast that maybe they'll have a different look at it. And maybe we're starting to see some of this, we've had people on here like Polly and stuff. We're starting to see people do it differently. And I think, I almost hope that kind of stuff happens because as women are more educated now, maybe you don't have to be married for insurance purposes, for retirement, for those rights. You know what I mean? Those rights that they give you to get you married, that business union. Maybe it'll be better in the future. But yeah, I think we kind of got sold a bag of goods.
So I want to grab a chat really quickly. This right here is interesting, right? Because I think this is the I don't want to say scapegoat, but I want, this is like putting a band-aid or blinders on what's really going on, right? And this is parroted a lot, so it's just easy to just say it, right, and make it be true. Tova says men are becoming more feminine and women are becoming more masculine. Also, I know the YouTubers of the land will have you, they prefer you believe that because it's endless content, right? It's endless content. They can get you back on to listen to them. But here's the thing. Women are getting, like you said, No Saint, they're getting more educated. They're getting more self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think those things are synonymous with masculinity. If back in the day you needed a man to survive, and today you don't, you're more self-sufficient. If you weren't as educated back then, and he had all the education, and then even if he didn't, he had the brawn to go out there and put bricks into a building, guess what? You weren't going to do it. But now women have hit the workforce. We can vote now, in case anybody's wondering.
Yep.
We can vote now. So it's just a matter of women are just becoming more self-sufficient. And I don't even think that it's men becoming more feminine. I'll throw you guys a little bone, fellas. I don't even think it's that you're becoming more feminine. It's that you don't know what the fuck to do with an evolved woman. Like, you're all thumbs. Like, you're like, I don't know how to deal with a woman that's self-sufficient and evolved, right? So then you get the whining, and men are doing a lot of whining online. Lots and lots and lots of whining. And they have these whining YouTube leaders, and they lead them into more whining, right? And they sell you t-shirts with the whining logos on it and the whining sayings on it. Everybody's whining.
And they done came up with a whole manosphere, child.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we're like the lions, we sit around, we don't do crap, and then we get mad because now the female lion is like, well, hell, I can do this by myself. But I mean, no, there's a lot of truth. Listen, even if you look at the military, you can have women now press a button to send a freaking drone somewhere. You don't have to. Now, there are certain jobs that men are going to do some, on the front lines better.
Well, I'm a chauvinist pig, so there's some things I feel women shouldn't even be involved in.
But I mean, some people had problems with women being firefighters. And yeah, the big brute firefighter is going to be stronger, but there's a lot of leverage and stuff that plays into carrying people out. Now, there's no substitution if the girl's really tiny that she's going to have trouble, right? But there's
if I'm in a Bernie building, you send a woman in there, when I get out of there all smoky and dirty,
right.
Found you out, okay?
Yeah, No Saint, I better see your face.
But what I'm saying is that there are certain jobs that still need muscle, but a lot of them are getting automated anyway as well. It's becoming harder for you to just lie on, I'm a man and this is a man's job and I'm going to use my brute strength. And women, I've always known this for long. Women are first of all, they have a lot of superpowers in that brain. They're very good. They're very good at communication. They're very good at remembering things. They're very detail oriented.
Yep.
And in this world, multitasking. And in this world, that goes a long way. That really does. And men are struggling, and we're lost. I mean, just as a whole, what you see out there, we kind of lost, in this world. But you gotta keep it moving. You can't just sit there and whine about it, and you can't blame women because now they have some choices, or they don't have to stay there. They don't have to do everything around the house as well as go to work. You know what I mean? If you can, like you said, Jen, I can do that by myself. I can pick up after myself.
Right, because you know what? I'm just putting this timeline together, right? Just hit me. It went from like the whole 50s, like pre women being able to vote and work other than being a nurse. Like most of them were stay-at-home mothers and were expected to take care of the house. The man went out and worked, made all the money. Wasn't maybe not the most emotionally available person, so mom took care of all of that. Yep. Cool, seemed balanced. Nobody, but then you still also had a lot of DV going on, and she couldn't go anywhere. So let's talk about that. Yep. Then you move a little bit forward, and women started to leave the house to work a little bit more, and that started happening. But what didn't change was the expectations of the woman didn't change. Meaning now she has to get up, get dressed, that takes time. Get the kids dressed, that takes time.
Yep.
Commute to work, be at work, commute home, come home, cook the dinner, kiss the kids, talk to them about stuff.
And don't forget, speak life into her man.
And speak life into her man. And then we wonder why at some point women got tired.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's like I can't blame either sex when I look at it, meaning the frustrations. Mm-hmm. I can't blame the frustration of the woman saying, hold up, something's gotta give. Okay. I wear Wonder Woman t-shirts. I'm not Wonder Woman. All right. And then the man being able to get honest and saying, I don't know what to do in this new society. We've never been here before. Our society has never been.
That would be a beautiful conversation. Like, what is this? What do we do? But people are monetizing, as you know, trauma and pain and rejection. People are literally monetizing rejection. Like, you've been rejected. I got something for you. Come right up. I got this t-shirt for you. This little pamphlet. I call it a book. It's a book. It's a pamphlet. Tova says, but we as women do not desire feminine men. I tried it, Jen. I truly tried it. I'm very open-minded, but something in me just couldn't. I desire a masculine man. Tova, I would love for you to give me 3 examples. If you can, throw it in the chat. Give me 3 examples of what a feminine man is to you before I address. Because I like your comment, but I would like to know what you deem a feminine man in a relationship.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too, because everybody has a different what they think, have a different opinion of what they think masculine is and what feminine is. But yeah, that's very subjective, I think.
Right. I've dealt with men who I wouldn't consider them feminine. I just feel like they dropped the ball with masculinity, or what my idea of masculinity is. But I wouldn't put like feminine on them. I would just say they dropped the ball with masculinity, what I felt. And men don't like to hear this. And I know inflation and eggs are $10 a box now.
Good Lord.
I know, fellas. I know everything's expensive. I know. But you have to understand that once, and this is just life in general. This isn't even just humans. This is animals too, right? Animals morph in certain environments. Like, oh, I didn't need fins before. Now I got fins. Oh shit, now I can swim, right? Hey, I didn't need fins before, but now I can swim, right? I don't need you to pull me out the water because now I got fins. I can swim in the water. And similarly with humans, men have to understand, though they hate hearing it, with the egg prices going up to $10 a box. Well, we need 2-income families, right? We need 2-income families. But once you put a woman out in the workforce, right, you become less important, not in a bad way, just evolving of that human being, that organism in that situation, right? Because she's figuring, if I'm going out, like Lily said, if I'm getting dressed, I got to do all my makeup on. It takes about an hour to get dressed, get my makeup on, get showered. It takes me about an hour to get to work. And I'm working 9 to 5. And then it takes me an hour to get back home. And then I got to cook, kids are here, homework, get them ready. It's a listen. I'm just having flashbacks fucking going down the list, okay? Because I've been there. I've done it. And once you're in that position, sorry, fellas, but you become, what is the word? Disposable, expendable. You just do. You become that. And it's not even in a bad way. It's just that women morph into, I really don't need you. And I know you guys hate hearing that, but that's what happens to a woman when she goes out on the workforce. She's like, oh shit, I really like don't need you. I'm doing all this with the baby on my hip, and I'm cooking, and I'm multitasking, looking at my iPad, getting, my reports ready for tomorrow. That is what happens.
And let me tell you something. Women are really good at, like, if it's between myself and my wife and we're not together, she's way more capable of taking care of that one house than I am. I'd be a mess. I mean, I'd be able to, they'd be going to school with like those pink shirts because I'd mix the colors in the washing machine. and then I'd just throw it in the dryer with the little wet thing to get the wrinkles out. Here you go.
You have daughters?
No, I don't. I don't.
I was about to say, baby girl, we go to school like this.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you would just say, listen, there's so much. There's so much to talk about when it comes to this. Like, I've even talked about how, it's much harder. Like, the reason marriages are people are so more likely to cheat, especially when you're in a marriage and there's, eggs are up and all this kind of stuff, is that if there's somebody out there that likes your man or woman, but especially if there's somebody out there that likes your woman and they don't have any of those extra stresses, they're going to be really exciting because they got a lot of extra cash to spend, bring you all those places you want to be. It makes it really difficult though. But I don't know why I said that. I'm just
It's the damn truth.
It's the truth. That's why you said it.
Yeah. I mean, and women have, oh man, women are, they're lucky in a sense that, they don't have to, it's not very hard to get a guy to be interested in, if, I'm not everybody obviously, but
I heard something the other day in my little scrolls that men were mad that they don't have the access to sex, the easy access to sex that women do.
That's not even true. They do. They just have to shell out some money, but it's out there. You know what I mean? I'm talking about they have to pay for it.
But that's still
not free.
Take.
What's that?
That's still that's still a step they gotta take in between getting that sex. Well, I don't need $1.
No, you're right.
We're more like, get away, leave me alone.
Right.
Like, oh.
Men is like, they either gotta have money, they either gotta have looks, you know what I mean? They either gotta have status. I mean, to have an abundance of options. Because I said it before, I can walk in, you know what I mean, a party with bigwigs with a $10 dress on and land me a millionaire with a $10 dress on. Right?
Yep.
So
very easy.
So
right?
true.
But a woman at that same party, if you walk in with $5 in your pocket and a Groupon, you're not gonna be as lucky, no saint. You may not be as lucky.
It's very true. It's very true. But if you walk in and we know your last name Zuckerberg, yeah, you may look like an AI avatar, but I'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Tova broke it down. I think she said it's hard for me to explain this. I can't really explain it in words fully. I don't want to make anyone feel bad. So like it's in their mannerisms, how they act and carry themselves. You're not going to make anybody feel bad here. You on the block. So don't say it with your chest.
Well, yeah. I mean, she's basically saying she knows what she wants and that's for her, but it's not for her. There's different people want different things.
Right.
I don't see nothing wrong with what she wants at all. You
Mhm.
have to figure out who you are in order to know what you want and what you need, to um I don't know. See, this is the thing. For me, I think I said this on a stream of last week. For me, it's more like an icing on the top. Once I did that work and went inside and figured out who I was, what I like, what I didn't like versus society's belief system or my parents' belief system and all. Once I did all of that work, and then I really had to destroy and rebuild. So once I did that, I was like, damn, kind of dope by myself.
Yeah.
I was like, really? Like, and when I did the work, it wasn't just the inner work, I was doing the outer work as well. I was getting my financial life together, taking care of my credit, working on my skin, like just, I mean, doing the work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it became a different priority. And when it's not this energy of desperation and need, because I'm big on energy and it attracts a certain type of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Even in business, someone even taught me this in business, and that's when I started learning about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I applied that into other areas of my life. So when I first started my business, I would wake up with this begging energy, this desperate energy, like, oh, I wish, it'd be nice if someone called, check. I wonder if, oh, I hope some. Let me reach out to all these people and someone told me, no, 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 that's the wrong energy. See, you got to wake up knowing you dope, and you got to wake up knowing that there's people out there looking for you and what you have and what you possess, because you know what you possess because you did the work, right? And so I started doing it. I started waking up like, I know y'all looking for me. I know y'all, somebody out there looking for me. So I know I need to make myself available. So that looked like for me going online to post my stuff, my work, and blah, blah, blah. And trying to find a partner, making yourself available means leaving out the house, maybe, taking off
Yeah.
the bonnet, maybe, if you do online dating, making sure everything is, I don't know, I've never done online dating, but whatever you have
Me
to do.
neither. I feel like I'm the last person on the planet who's never been on a dating app.
Me too. I always feel like that because I've never, ever, ever been on one. Doesn't appeal to me, but I don't look down on it. I just don't feel like it's for me. So
I mean, every social media app I'm on is like a fucking dating app. So I'm like,
that's,
the same shit.
I thought it was the same thing too, because I'm like,
Same
everyone thinks TikTok and everything's a
I
dating
just
app.
swipe up instead of left. I'm like, no.
No. So yeah, that's how I look at it. And so basically, I feel like once we do that work, it goes from finding someone to complete me or my other half to the icing on the cake. Like, if you show up, that's dope. If you don't, I'm still dope. You
Yeah.
know, just don't diminish don't take away from all of these things that I've built, which means my peace, my money, my happiness, my joy. Don't take away from that. I would love for you to add to it, because I know what I'm bringing to your life is going to add to yours. So I would like the same type of situation. So I feel that's one of the things too, is like that. I don't think people recognize that they're putting out that energy of desperation,
Mm-hmm.
but they are. And then when the universe brings them something that's handsome or pretty with this beautiful shell on the outside, they haven't done any work on the inside.
And we see that happen a lot. I'm sure we've all heard the story. This woman really wanted to get married. She really wanted to get married. The man wasn't budging. 3 months later, she is married to someone else. Months later, not years, months. So it goes back to your desperation thing. I just need to be married because married is the thing to do. And the crazy thing is that society, family, religion stresses marriage, which is literally, if you're into marriage, the biggest decision of your life. And they're sending you in with no tools other than tradition. This is just what we do, girl. Honey, this is what we do. Give me some grandbabies. Let me read these chats real quick because I did see some interesting stuff.
Yeah,
Donovan says, men today don't have to really do anything that's even considered to be masculine. They just can easily call another man to change his tire, cut his grass,
Very true.
and assemble his desk. Caribbean Casanova says, Jen, just be careful. Understand when you're referring to landing, that doesn't mean getting married. Having men want sex from you is different from the actuality of marrying you. But I feel you. But here's the thing. I say it here over and over again. Some women just want sex and money. Some women just want sex and access to that man's world and money. And when you're dealing with a wealthy man, you have a lot of access to his world and his money without him even putting a ring on you. And I spoke about that before. Do not underestimate that there are a lot of women out there who prioritize putting their foot up so you can see their red bottom on Instagram. Okay. That's their priority. They want their Louis bag on there. They want to sit casually at the brunch and have their Gucci bag on the table with their girlfriends. And the last thing on their mind is getting married. So, you know, I know people say, well, you know, you can have you'll find a man who have sex with you, but he won't marry you. Some women do not give a fuck if the man is wealthy. Women are evolving. They want the bag and they want the selfie. This is why you see a lot of Instagram models and they're like, I'm in Dubai. Is the Arab guy shutting down her throat for her to get that money? Probably. Is she in a circle jerk with 3 other guys? Probably. But women and younger women who are very attractive prioritize material things. So yes, sometimes just landing a guy who's going to fuck her and get her pregnant is all she wants. Because you look at Khloe Kardashian, man, her baby daddy, he's constantly cheating with people. He knocked up an Instagram chick. Now she has child support for the rest of her life and she gets to live lavishly. So what do you think she wanted more? You think she wanted that guy to marry her, or you think she wanted that child support? Some women don't care about that ring. They care about the money. Donovan says, hey, Jen. Hey, Lily. Hey, No Saint. Nobody's arguing, No Saint. Do you see No Saint sometimes sends a super chat when everybody's arguing?
Right.
He says, Jen, read this. This is the funniest fucking thing because everybody be like, Rah! Yeah, Jen, read this. Yes, so it's like you just have to listen. You have to know first to start with who you are. There's so much emphasis on what people want. There's so much emphasis on what kind of man they want. There's so much emphasis on what kind of woman they want. Focus on who you are. Focus on who you are first. That's where your focus should be. Not a woman that's submissive, not a man that does X, Y, and Z, not a man that's masculine. Focus on who you are. Build it and they will come. But, you know, we've grown in a society where everybody's a life coach and everybody's a relationship coach and everybody's a sex coach. Everybody. I scroll Facebook and I'm like, I see people being pulled to and fro. This person is saying this about marriage and this person is giving their point of view about marriage. And this person is saying, this is what you do and buy my book and I have the way. And I can't even scroll. I'm like, God, everybody's a fucking coach. My goodness.
And that's another industry, right? I would say this. I would say that marriage at best is a gamble, and the odds are really not in your favor that it's going to end up well. It's just not, you know.
I don't like the odds.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I don't like the odds.
And that's not to say that like for me, and you know, I call my marriage successful. I don't know it's gonna last for, you know, forever. I have no idea. I have no idea. I say we've been together a long time. We have kids. We're doing what we got to do. Now, there's a difference between, for me, I've never been one, and there's a difference between. It doesn't mean that if this marriage ends that we hate each other. That doesn't mean I'm not that kind of person. I have the first girl I got engaged with. Once in a while, I'll talk to. You know,
you'd get cut being married.
I don't see her.
We've been doing fine, No Saint. I don't think of a knife at all. I made it an hour without thinking of a knife.
You get cut. Yeah, you remind me because I remember. You remind me of this so much. Remember, you were talking about the diaper last night. The lady that rode with the diaper to go after somebody, and I was driving, so I couldn't. Obviously, the show was over. But I remember, and Erica used to do this to me all the time. Remember the beauty queen from Colombia that got married, and she was married to that dude in Texas, and she ran that dude over in the parking lot of a restaurant.
You remember his teeth and everything were knocked out. She went like 5 times when I went around.
And I think her daughter or his daughter was in the car at the time or something like that. And so every once in a while, when Erica's like, "You ever?"
She getting you right. She remind. That's her checking him. She's following our advice. Let me check in, no saint, and let you know I ain't forgot.
Right.
Da-da.
No, that's not true, Dog Soldier. Dog Soldier said the problem marriage was never designed to be a financial situation. There was a time where that was the only reason.
Yeah.
and in some cultures it still is.
Right?
You got a goat and I got a hold on.
No, there was a time where it was just a financial situation and they would get like, that's what an arranged marriage was, because your house had this amount of money and your house had this amount of money, and we're going to marry these 2 people to keep the money and the power. Yeah, there was a time where that's all it was.
Yeah, and let's not talk about
marrying for love.
Let's not talk about the Habsburg dynasty, where they married and kept on intermarrying their cousins to where their chin is called the Habsburg chin, because they wanted to keep the dynasty in the family. It was an empire, the Habsburg Empire. That's all about money. It's all about keeping the power and keeping the wealth.
I want to write that down. I want to look that up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The Habsburg Empire.
Habsburg, the dynasty. Yeah. You'll see Habsburg. If you type in Habsburg chin, it's a whole thing. It's a whole. They interbred. And that's what all the royal people back in the day, you'd marry to consolidate power, and the marriage is it's always been that way.
Caribbean Casanova, you're gonna have to come up here. We got to school you. This is not true. This is not true, mi amor. Mi amor. No, eso es falso. He said, Jen, I hear what you're saying, but you're forgetting that those women are empty, living in deep depression, committing suicide at the highest rate. The facade breaks down quickly when they hit 30. No, honey, no.
That same old trope, huh?
No, actually, men are committing suicide at the highest rate. And those women are empty, perhaps, but they enjoy having money and they enjoy being able to show that money to the world, right? So what you call empty, they're very content with that life. Women are changing. I keep trying to warn men. Women are changing. They're not the woman that used to sleep with 10 guys and then feel bad and go home and take a shower. They're like, I did it, and what? Lori Harvey is popping. You can't stop me. I am woman. Hear me roar. Look at my Louis bag. Look at my Gucci bag. Women are changing. They're competing with other women, and their priority, the younger they are, their priority is getting attention on social media that they're addicted to. That is why they go and get BBLs. That is why you can't scroll past 2-3 women without seeing 2-3 BBLs. That is their priority. Getting bodies, and check this out. They're not even getting those bodies to land a man. They're getting those bodies to monetize, because they know that men are gonna be on their ass if they get that BBL. So women are changing. We've never seen the plastic surgery phenomenon like we're seeing now, but they're monetizing those bloated bodies. They don't give a damn like they used to. It's a different world. And you have to take note, because you'll get caught. But no, men are committing suicide at the highest rate, actually. Unfortunately, anybody's committing suicide, but yeah, no, it's men. It's definitely men. Why you don't want to cam up? You scared of your face? Well, so just says, I was going to do an arranged marriage with my son, but where's the love? What kind of future will they? Situations like that are why concubines and cat houses. Well, here's the thing. People, the divorce rate is 50% anywhere, right? Half of the people that get married get divorced. The other half of that stays married are probably miserable and staying for the money, the children, and whatever, right? So, I mean, what's the difference? People that marry for love get divorced all the time, fall out of love all the time, end up hating each other all the time. So I would go with the, but what's the guarantee? I guess. They're not. He's like, wait, you just said they're not getting those bodies for men, but they're getting it to monetize because they know men is going to be on their ass, so they are getting it for men. No, there's a difference. Do you understand what I said, Lily?
The money.
They're not getting it for men. Like they're not getting those bodies to get married and land a man, to get one man. They're getting those bodies to appeal to many men. Many men.
So there's only one man they're getting those bodies, and that's his name's Benjamin Franklin.
Right. Ben getting it all.
So they're not getting, back in the day, women wanted to be attractive to land a man, right? They wanted to look very pretty because they were out there looking for husbands. In the age of the social media explosion, women get those bodies so many men could click like and follow, and they can monetize that thirst, because now thirst is being monetized. And if you look at those women's follows, all of those are men. Those men make it possible for those women to sell ad space on their $1 million accounts. So they're getting it so men can look at them, but they're not getting it to get one man. Otherwise, they wouldn't be naked on there and twerking, clapping cheeks. They're doing that because they know a bunch of guys are going to come see those cheeks clap. And the more of you are watching those cheeks clap, right? The more of you are going to follow, the more leverage she has for someone to say, hey, can you hold this bottle and say that it's the best tea you've ever had, and that's why you got a flat stomach. So they really, those women monetize thirst. You guys pay for those BBLs with the likes and the follows.
Yeah, and even people monetize their marriages. I look at these family channels, they monetize their children. They'll keep having children so they can continue to monetize. They'll break up and stay together in front of the camera just so that they can monetize. Like, people have monetized everything at this point. I was telling someone earlier, like, in my head, in my opinion, I was like, I don't even think Jay-Z and Beyonce are still together. Like, they're probably not even together. They probably have a business arrangement because they're a brand. That's like Will and Jada have been a brand for so many years, and they put up a front because that their money is better and stronger together, right?
When he said that in a rap song.
I was just about to say, yeah, exactly. And then he's had a girlfriend for like long before this whole entanglement stuff. He's had the same girlfriend for years. Like, they both were living separate lives, doing their thing, and had an arrangement to come together for business. And I never saw anything wrong with it. That's their arrangement, you know.
That's see, Don, I'm gonna beat y'all all up tonight. Don Levon said ass clapping past a certain age is an attractive, though. That's another lie, because there's a woman, she uses, Lily, you probably seen her. She got a fat ass, big tits, small waist, and she uses a grandma filter with gray hair. And guess who's sharing that? Yo, look at grandma. I still clap. I still smash. It's men. It's not me. I didn't share it. Men. There's women now over 50 with gray hair. Who shares it? I see these women because men are, I still smash grandma. What's good? It's men. So listen, you guys, I love you to death, but you're holding on to this ideal, right? These morals no one gives a fuck about anymore, but you all. Old bitches are getting it. Grandmas clapping cheeks are getting it. They're getting shared on TikTok. They're getting shared on Instagram. They are monetizing the thirst. And if they're not monetizing the thirst, they're monetizing the ridicule. Either ways, you're helping.
Yeah.
But that whole, like, think about it. That sounds like something your mother would say or your grandmother. That's women after a certain age showing their ass and tits. It's not a good thing. On social media, it's all a good thing.
You're going to be an
Right,
old maid. That was the thing.
When you started the sentence when you said there's a woman, I'm like, a woman, because there's, like you said, plenty of grandmas on there busting it open and clapping cheeks, and like it's never us that's sharing it, and this stuff go viral, and then you go through the comments, it's not us. So that's not true. This is the thing. I remember when I was living in this one area in Atlanta, there was a hostro right there, right? And it was like one of those bottom of the barrel hostros with like, she had one sock on, one sock off, right? But she was there every day. She wouldn't be there every day if somebody wasn't putting her in her car.
Hello.
Same thing as the ladies clapping at 80 years old. Like it's the same thing. She wouldn't keep doing it if she wasn't getting the attention, if she wasn't getting the followers and things.
She wouldn't be there.
She wouldn't be there.
So it may not be your thing. Like you'd be like, nah, I don't want to see a lady 65 twerking, but her 1 million followers want to see her twerking.
Right.
Like I think Madonna is hideous today. Absolutely frightening. And she goes so close to the camera. I don't know why she keeps doing that. She goes real close to the fucking camera. I don't need to see her face that close. Her body is chewed up and stuffed into lingerie. It's just, it looks like she rolls her boobs up and puts them in each bra cup, right? It's just really, it's just, she's gross.
I've never seen her.
But every time, and her new little, like her fake ass that she got looks ridiculous. It looks like they put 2 bowling balls in her ass cheeks. But guess what? Whatever she posts, everyone goes wild.
Because a lot of these BBLs are starting to look more like deformities than anything else.
Right? Because oh my God, you paid to be handicapped. They can't walk right, but they monetized it.
So you know what though? I see in the next starting the clock now, within the next 5 to 10 years, a bunch of documentaries and it's already starting, but even more, an influx of documentaries and channels popping up about, oh, I've been suffering in silence with all of these things that I've done to my body, because I hear a lot of it behind the scenes already.
Well, K. Michelle had that show, right? With the botched, the botched bodies. This is a great question. Can a society without any moral foundation last like this without serious consequence? My advice is be armed and get lots of ammo. Okay. Go to the range. All right. Make sure you have a lot of backup food, because the way the society is going, we're going to be like Mad Max. All right. We're going to be like Mad Max in a couple of decades. Make sure you arm your family.
Yep.
Shit, I bought Glocks as gifts for mine. The future looks bleak, and some people will be like, no, there's nothing wrong, and it's just social media, and it's not that serious. No, something weird is happening out here.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, I'm a history buff, and if you know about history, no civilization lasts forever. And it's as simple as that. And that's just, I've just come to realize it's the natural order of things. I don't think that the civilizations are even sustainable. I don't know. I mean, history has shown that we haven't figured it out yet.
Yes, someone is dating Cher right now, and he's younger than her, a lot younger than her.
That's access too.
Yeah. Someone said.
Yeah, because Mariah's dating her. She's been dating her background dancer for years now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a weird statement, because it's the opposite, actually. He said many women are experiencing regression over progression. It's actually the opposite.
Yeah, I was like, did he?
So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to predict what's going to happen in the future. I do agree with there's a lot of stuff that's happening that women may not be able to control that. But I will say this: we never know. Like, okay, so people always, and I'm a history person, right? Too, and people always say, Rome collapsed. Look at Rome; it collapsed.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're talking about is they're talking about Western Rome, while Eastern Rome actually went on for another 1,000 years with that same. So, why do I bring that? Yeah, Eastern, which is Constantinople was the capital, which is Istanbul today, and they kept on going for another 1,000
We
years.
got millions more BBLs that we got to look at.
No. But what I'm saying is this: so when people say, can we keep on without morality? First of all, I want you to define what morality is, because we can't even agree on that. Because people are going to say, my morality is, is founded by this God. My morality is founded by that God, and they don't really mesh that well. So, you don't. So my question, that would be my first question to the person about, can we keep going, with the morality? No, you keep going by evolving, and whatever happens in society, trying to adjust. Like Jen says, not all of us are going to make it. If the world as a whole collapses, I'm hopefully Don Levon will invite me over and show me how to kill some chickens, and because I won't make it.
Everybody meet at Don's house.
Yeah,
I won't make
I'm
it.
headed down to Don Levon's house.
I was brought up in this society. I perform a service that depends on a society to be there. If you tell me to go farm or go, take care of cow, and most of us has lost the ability to be self-sufficient, and we depend on each other to survive. And that's, yeah. But yeah, it's not necessarily that we're gonna be Mad Max.
If
We could
pushed
be.
to the limit, I listen, Lily. Are we not ready for the Mad Max outfits? I'm ready.
Oh yes,
I'm ready for the Mad Max outfits with the black feathers.
I may have a couple of things ready for it already.
I'm ready, Mose. I'm ready for that. If worst comes to worst, listen. I'm really like, I'm icky about stuff. But if I'm starving, I will tear the head right off a chicken. I will tear it off. I'm going to eat.
But look, it's enough New York City rats out here. I'm pretty sure we should.
We gotta eat. We gotta eat.
I go down to the subway station down the street. Be good for at least 5 years.
So Glenn Lawrence, what's up, Glenny Benny? He made a interesting comment. He posted an interesting comment, right? He said it depends on what you consider progression and regression. I would say for them, right? Progression is being able to get a BBL, have everybody react to it, though everyone knows it's fake. I mean, these bitches are in the hospital showing the cuts and the little bags on the side and the surgery. And, they're all like this on Instagram right now. They can't sit down. A couple months later, they're all greased up, tits stand up here, ass stands out to there, and men still line up for it. So have they progressed from women that needed men? Yeah. They're making their own money. Yeah. These bitches they're not playing. They rolling up with, Bentleys now. They're moving into the mini mansions. That's progress.
And they have they're at the place where they're like, is the husband worth the headache? I'm not sure. Before, when that question would come up, like you said, they would stay for so many reasons: financial, kids, religion, guilt, because there's a lot of guilt behind divorce for a lot of people, because it's a failure situation. People will feel like a failure, or be afraid of being looked at as a failure. So that's a real thing in a lot of people's mind. And I don't like when things are done out of fear and guilt and shame. A lot of times, like, yeah, of course there's healthy fears and things like that, but sometimes it can be used to a lot of times it's used for emotional blackmail.
Yeah, well, that's the pressure. A great point. That's the pressure of marriage. Like, why aren't you married yet? That's why when you go to your family's house on Thanksgiving, where are my grandbabies? Right? That's pressure. When are you getting married? Where's the boyfriend? There's in Latin families, it's like y la novia, y el novio. Like, I mean, you can't even walk in the door before they're asking you, where's your significant other? What are you doing? What's going on? So there's that pressure to the point where we don't go to certain parties because we're like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Right. And in some cultures is worse than others.
Yep.
I have a girlfriend who knew early on she didn't want to have children. Married a man who knew early on he didn't want to have children. So together they made a decision that we're on the same page, and they stuck to it. Mm-hmm. And when I met her and she told me, my answer was like, oh, okay. That was it, right? Never asked her why, because it was none of my business. Mm-hmm. She didn't even have to share that. Mm-hmm. I think the conversation just came up and she said, she just let me know that. So then we became friends, and being around her for many years, it really bothered me how many people would try to shame her and for making that decision. Mm-hmm. And a few years into the friendship, she ended up sharing with me her reasons for it. It was really deep. Mm-hmm. She didn't have to share that with me, but it was totally understandable. I mean, I understood without her even explaining anything. But when she explained it, I was like, wow. But people never know what someone's dealing with and why they make the choices that they make.
Yes. You just don't.
It's just like everyone wants to tell a woman what to do with their body, to the point was like, have children or don't have. It's just like, oh my God.
Let me tell you this horrible story that happened to me, Lily. A childhood friend of mine passed away. Long story short, a childhood friend of mine passed away. We were very, very close growing up. I went to her funeral. Her mother was there. Of course, her mother's grieving. She's distraught. I couldn't have a child after my second attempt, right? I just couldn't. Medically, I could not. And I was at the funeral, and she comes up to me and she was like, look, she had 3 daughters and one of them died, right? That's the funeral we were at. And she comes up to me and she's like crying, and she's like, look what happened to me. And when she saw me, she got emotional because she knew we were always together when we were little, right? So I was that memory for her. But we're at the funeral home, and she comes up to me, she grabs me, and she's like, you see, you have to have more than one kid. You have to have more than one kid, because look what happened. Look what happened. I lost one. And I'm like, lady, I can't. Like, like I can't. Like, thanks for the sentiment, but it's like, I can't react because your daughter's in a box, right? So I'm like, but I lost one too, just not at this age. So I'm like, you have to be just mindful. And that's, people don't think about that. They don't know why you've made the decisions you've made. Sometimes it was, you didn't have a choice.
Right.
So you have to be mindful of what you ask people. Why don't you have kids? Why aren't you married? You don't know what that person's been through. You're not with them 24 hours a day. It's fucking courtesy. Like, shut the fuck up. I do want to answer Tristan. He said, what is that bag? Tristan, those little plastic bags that they wear after the surgery is to drain the fluid, because their fupa, like the area in their crotch, swells up with fluid. Mm-hmm. So they have to inject those bags, and the women have to walk around with those bags to drain the fluid. Otherwise, she'll have a big ass in the back and a big ass in the front if they don't drain the fluid. Glenn Lawrence says, they're still dependent on men. But young grasshopper, it's a different type of dependency. Okay. A woman depending on a man for survival is different than a woman depending on 500 thirsties to click like and follow. It's a different type of dependence. Actually, the latter dependence is a freedom. It's a freedom from having to commit to a man. All you have to do is show your ass, and they are coming. And you don't got to deal with them. You don't got to marry them. You don't got to wash their stinky drawers. You don't got to cook for them. You ain't got to do shit. All you got to do is show your ass, and 500 guys clicking like, okay, and you're going to be able to monetize. You can monetize the thirst. So it's a different dependency.
Yeah. It's also, you're depending on a man to have an illusion that you want to be with him. That's what you're depending on the man for. Because that's all it's totally different. It's not even anything, and who's to say that there aren't women on there throwing some dollars in too?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ain't
I mean,
nothing wrong
listen,
with
we
that.
all depend on somebody. If that's the case, we all depend on people, you know,
Right,
to
exactly.
survive, to get money.
But the BBL girls, it's pretty easy for them. All they got to do is just upload. Seriously, they can upload and say,
I'd say it's
stop
easy,
following
but
me.
that surgery sounds horrific, man. I
Yeah,
don't know.
they look like they got run over by cars.
I mean, there is some element of danger, but if you survive it, yeah. Like, I mean, if you got to put in
well, they said
something
for
to
most,
drain your fluid, I mean, you could get infections. There's all
no,
kinds of
but a
stuff.
lot of them, no, Saint, the pictures I've seen, I mean, sometimes these women have to get their ass cheeks amputated.
Oof.
Some of them
Yeah.
get, the pictures are horrific. They get infections. They get swollen. There's pus in there. There's blood clots in there. A lot of women die. They're saying that the BBL is the most dangerous plastic surgery
Unbelievable.
because they're sticking, that liposuction
They're
needle
stabbing you.
all in your cavity. Same type they use when they embalm a body. Is, they're sticking that all up in there, sucking the fat out. Some women have had their lungs punctured. Okay, some women have had their stomachs punctured, their intestines punctured. It's not a joke. That surgery is not a joke. It is not a joke. You can die on that table. Everybody's panicking about the apocalypse. I said we're meeting at Don Levon's house.
Right. Like, we figured it out. We're in the solution.
Don Levon, man, I'll come work on your farm.
Right.
Just throw me a chicken bone once in a while.
Don Levon's gonna be out there with a shotgun. Get off my porch. I can only take 3 more.
Right. Don Levon and Haran will shoot at the zombies.
There you go. Glenn can shoot at the zombies too.
Oh yeah, Glenn, he can shoot at the zombies. I love it.
Nobody cares, Dog Soldier. Nobody, y'all, listen, I be trying to help y'all. Nobody cares about your damn standards. Nobody cares. Like, you're not the customer then. You're not the customer. But
these are definitely religious talking. He might totally believe that kind of stuff, but everybody
that's fine, Glenn. I mean, I'm sorry, that's fine, no Saint, but I said Glenn because he's backstage. But I want Dog Soldier to drop his Instagram so I could go see who he's following.
Like me when you busted me.
Yeah, just for kicks, Dog Soldier. Real men have standards, respectfully. Drop me your Instagram. Let me see who you following.
Real men.
So if you're not following anybody with a big ass, then salute. Drop me your Instagram or your Facebook. I want to see who you're following, just for shit.
I was shocked when I went through my guys and it wasn't the BBL girls on there. I was like, okay, what's up, Glenn?
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Hey.
Glenn always looks like he's in character. It doesn't matter when. He always looks like he's right on set.
I know I want to cast him every time he comes up.
Exactly.
Hey, give me the projects.
Exactly. Like,
I love getting paid for work.
It's like you don't know what the movie is, but you want to cast them before, and then
I'll be your bad guy.
There you go, Glenn Lawrence. How are you? So, writer, director, actor, stuntman, weapons expert. How are you, sir?
Good. You know, this topic is interesting because I think it's some of the talking points that you say are true to a degree, but we don't know the longevity of it. Like, we haven't, the social media world is so new, like, we don't know what the consequence or the outcome is going to be 20, 30 plus, 40 years down the road from here. So, like, yeah, these girls are making bank with their BBLs and putting in all this work, for them, to make money, monetizing themselves. Basically, they're monetizing themselves in a non-prostitution way, but you know what I'm saying? Like, or some of them are prostituting, like, so it's like, but we don't understand the longevity of that and how long those resources are going to be sustainable, right? Mm-hmm. So, they may be making bank now, but that grandma, because I only started commenting on the grandma, like, yeah, that grandma may have made bank in her 20s, but at 50 and 60, she may not look the same. And if she's entirely dependent upon that as her revenue stream, right? Then she's going to be at the point where now because you don't get Social Security and retirement off of that. So it's like, now I don't have this asset of retirement. That's why when I made the comment, like, women want marriage for retirement, it's the fact that they know if the guy ever gets to the point where they want out, they know that they could still get some financial monetization from him because of the marriage. So that's where, I mean, like, they want the marriage for the retirement aspect. They're looking at it as a retirement plan, like saying, okay, if it doesn't work, well, at least I'm not going to be asked out and not going to have anything coming in. I still will I can still do whatever I do on the side to make money, but then at the same time, I have this nest egg of his alimony.
Well, so here's the thing, though. The cool thing is that we live in a microwave society. Great point. This is a new phenomenon for us. These BBLs, they're just coming down the conveyor belt now, right? These women are making money hand over fist. But the thing is that, it's a retirement plan a lot easier and a lot faster than putting up with some boob on your couch.
Well, it's only a retirement plan if you're able to sustain it, though, right?
All right.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. These girls, if you notice, they always have a second and third page. And what do they have? A clothesline, a food line.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It would take that. It would take diversifying your brand, right? And expanding
they do
your
that
career.
well.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
And I'll say this, you're right. There's always going to be people that who are not financially literate for the way they grew up, didn't take a class or whatever. But that you can say the same thing about people that give up their job to do Uber. It's really good money for a while until it's not. And a lot of those people think, I work for myself and look at me. And then suddenly it dries up because Uber cuts your pay and you haven't put any money away. That's just in general. Now, as far as what we're talking about, I just think you're right. This is a new phenomenon. And what makes it new is it's around the world. You can see somebody in Japan doing the same thing. You can see somebody in Brazil. So it's a lot more people selling, for lack of a better word, sex, but I don't think so the BBL's new, but we can, Glenn, you've had some history. The Japanese women used to bond their feet. Remember that? So it really isn't new. It is new and is not new, right? I mean, women have always, and it's a little different in Japan because they certainly didn't have the freedom that the women today have, but women have always done things like this. I don't think, and like you said, yeah, some are gonna fall behind as far as retirement and stuff like that goes. But I mean, as a whole, the industry's moving away from that anyway. They want you to do it yourself anyway. You know what I mean?
Again, it's like I think like there's not. If you're looking at we haven't really experienced in its full we haven't felt the full understanding of the consequence of social media and the way that people are branding themselves and marketing themselves as a means of resources, right? As a form of revenue. Because we don't know how long is that sustainable. One, because it's almost like you think about I look at it like the music industry. All right,
right.
So you have a guy that comes out with a one-hit wonder.
Right.
Bam. Return of the Mac. Craig, you remember that? Craig, what's his name? Craig.
He died. Rest in peace.
No, he didn't.
He didn't die?
Mac.
No, you're talking about Craig Mack, not Return of the Mac.
Yeah, remember Return of the Mac?
Okay.
Was it Mark Morrison?
Mark Morrison. Yeah, Mark Morrison. Right? So we heard that everybody loves that song. Shit, that song still gets airplay. It's over 30 years old. But he hasn't done anything since, right?
Well, that's because he's in and out of prison every other year. But minus the prison part, but musically wise, he never made another hit. He didn't have a follow-up after that. Shortly after, he had nothing. So he may have made a whole lot of noise and fast money right away, and that may have been sustaining for some time. But there was no longevity and I'm saying that's where we're we don't know yet what the consequences or the outcome will be in the longevity aspect. These people that are doing it now, they're getting all these surgeries. And my thing is more the surgeries. You're putting your body through all this stuff to market it. But what's the consequences of these surgeries down the road? What are the complications going to be 20, 30 years down? Are you going to have issues? Are you going to have, health issues that's going to be not worth the process?
Okay. And what I'm going to say real quickly, what I'm going to push back on that is men are doing the same thing, whether it's football players, Arnold Schwarzenegger pumping himself up with steroids. Men are doing
But
the
it's
same things
different
with
though. Like it's one you could see the difference of steroids and steroids uses and what the consequences of that are. We don't know the consequences of this. I'm saying,
but they didn't know back then. I don't think they knew back then.
And they know now, and they're still doing it.
Yeah,
That's
because
true,
they're
too.
like, well, because one, like the difference of steroids are definitely have changed. Like the way that they're combining them and how they're processing them are not as bad as they used to be. They're not as dirty. And I know this because shit, I use steroids, so I have no problem saying that.
What
I got your go ahead, Lily.
What I was gonna say, like, I definitely agree with you, Glenn. What I want to add to that, I think it all comes down to financial responsibility, and I'm gonna say why. If we want to go with that logic, right? Let's just say the regular 9-to-5 did it right, went to college and all that other stuff. The odds of them having a good retirement, there's no guarantee there, because it's going to boil down to money management, financial literacy, and all of that good stuff. Same thing with the one-hit wonders. There are one-hit wonders that didn't have good financial literacy, couldn't flip it and do something else, and are broke. And then you got the ones like Chameleonaire, who's more
awesome, brilliant, genius guy.
You see what I'm saying?
Me and him, we chopped it up, and dude is legit.
He's doing his thing, and he's not the only one. There's a lot of
them. Oh yeah.
But it's more fun to talk about the one hit wonder that's down and out and living on Skid Row. But there's some other chameleonaires. There's the guy from Pretty Ricky. He was the same way. He's got so many different things going on. We've seen Ray J with Raycon and just so many different people. So the same thing with these people is going to all boil down to that, because it's a form of entrepreneurship.
Well, yeah. And that's the other part of it, right? Like, because we talk about it. I mean, think about all the content creators on here on YouTube. YouTube has like thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of channels that are not monetized. Because monetization is not easy. You have to brand yourself. You have to be attractive enough to gain monetization. It's a hustle. It's not like, oh, I just put on a camera and I talk for a little bit and they come. No, there's a method. There's work that has to be done. So it's like I wouldn't tell somebody to pursue YouTube and that's it, right? And I would say that's not a good career choice, because the odds, just like saying people getting in Hollywood, you want to be an actor, great, that's great. You may be the greatest actor, you may not get any screen time. You may be better than Al Pacino or anybody. You could be phenomenal and nobody will ever see you. Why? Because the odds of success are so small, and it's like what I'm saying about the longevity of the problem is like, if people are putting all this money into this, the problem is what about the girls that do get the BBLs and they do try to get out there and it doesn't work for them? Now all this investment, and then you don't know the consequences of the surgeries, what in the long term. We don't know that process yet. We don't know, what we're still learning about social media as we're developing it into what it's actually going to do. People are getting canceled or losing jobs because they post something that their boss didn't like on YouTube. So it's like, it's interesting. You don't know the consequences of what social media is going to be. There was something different when we had more privacy, when we didn't put all our life on social media, when we were all trying to be a brand of ourselves. There was something different then that was good, but that we don't necessarily see now.
I'll say what's different is say it again. Oh, I was gonna say what's different is that social media allows the person to control their own career, where in the past you had somebody up top pushing you and telling. So the competition is definitely more fierce, I guess, because you have a lot more people. I mean, it's a lot, but yeah, definitely. The difference is that you don't you have control, and it is all on you, but you're not paying somebody. The people up top aren't making as much money. Like in records, the artist has to make money now. They basically have to go on tour, where it used to be you got pushed by radio, you got pushed, So yeah, the competition's there, but it also gives a freedom where you don't have to rely, if you have the goods and the talent, you don't have to rely on somebody to discover you, and you don't have to jump through all the hoops. That
Well, yeah,
opportunity
I'm
is
saying
there.
there's pros and cons to it. I'm saying
Yeah.
we know what the pros are. I just don't think in this social experiment called social media, we haven't really factored all the pros and all the cons, and we haven't really been able to weigh it out over an X amount of time to see if this is a successful thing, if it's beneficial in the long run.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get that time. It's here, and that's
No,
all
I know.
there
I'm
is
saying
to
like
it.
we're not going to know about it until
Yeah.
later on. It's going to be 40, 50 years down the road, and we're going to see whether or not, you know, there's complication, or the people that are doing all this stuff to make this brand of themselves, if it pays off or not. Like, sure, there's going to be an outlier. There's always going to be that one person that was extremely successful, you know, for showing her ass cheeks off and clapping. But, you know, is she going to be, are the majority of people going to meet that level of success?
So let me jump in here. I say yes. I say absolutely. Because they are appealing to the most simplistic, animalistic trait of a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these women, and I mean all these women, I keep telling people, all these women, including myself, just like that Brittany, what is it, Renner? Yeah, I got more checks in my DMs than Nike, right? There are celebrities, there are athletes at a click away, and they are contacting you. These women don't even have to reach out to these guys. These guys are very easy access. They are constantly getting women pregnant. Sometimes it's enough for her to get a screenshot. You know, the blogs are throwing up her screenshots. As far as what could possibly go wrong, or we don't know the future of it yet, does it matter? That just sounds like entrepreneurship in a nutshell. We didn't know what boxing would do to bodies. We didn't know what football would do to bodies. We didn't know what, you know, I mean, eating this thing would do to bodies. We didn't know what not drinking that would do to bodies. So it just sounds like life in general. Men going into a workforce, working coal mines. We didn't know that coal was going to get in their lungs and kill them. But the thing is that we live in the age of information. These women are savvy now. They are not just prostitutes on the corner getting money for blowjobs. These women are savvy. They're investing their money. They are diversifying their portfolio. These women have 3-4 pages from Twitter to OnlyFans to Instagram. They're selling clothes. This is a whole new woman of today. This isn't just like, so I'm just gonna twerk and you're gonna throw dollars on me. No, these are bosses now. It's a whole different world. And the customer base, the demographic is endless and abundant. They don't even have to target a certain demographic, because as long as they get naked and that BBL looks good, it's going to be men who are nerds, rich, poor, happy, sad, fat, skinny, attractive, ugly. That
and
is
lonely.
And lonely. And even ones that are married. Even the ones that are married, or everybody's coming, right? And when you think about that, that woman has the best possibility out of when you think about businesses, she has the best opportunity to monetize quickly and monetize big. These apps are paying. I don't even do all that twerking. I don't have a BBL. And when that money hits my account, I'm like, oh shit, that was easy. So I can't even imagine what these women are getting who have 1 million followers and they clap in their cheeks.
And there's 1 million girls with 1 million followers. Like, so this is saying a lot about a lot.
Yeah, but see, my main thing is like, that's true, and there's no denying it. I'm just saying we don't know the longevity effect of it. You know, because like anything can change. Like, you know, in I think it's Indonesia, they just passed a law not too long ago to where like you can't have premarital sex. Like, it's illegal. You could go to prison, you go to jail for that. You can't even
good luck with that.
You can't even live in, you know, with somebody that you're not married to if you're an adult. Like, you can't, like,
but you would have to be snitched on or something. People gonna fuck.
But of course,
Right. That's what I said. Good luck with that one.
But the fact is that like we know that it's marketable now. I'm saying it's not sustainable because we don't know what changes are going to be possible. Like there's a lot of things that going on that changes are going to happen. We don't know. It could be marketable now.
The one thing that'll never change is a man wanting to fuck a woman. That's
absolutely. Absolutely.
Like,
well, I don't know. I don't know. Like, you know, there's a lot of guys that are saying they're going their own way and they're dropping out.
Right.
You know, they're getting robots.
There's a lot of guys that it's like, oh, a selfie.
They're like robots. I mean, have you seen like the robotic like the sex dolls?
Sex bots, yeah.
That shit is like fucking booming business. Like I'm getting ready to do a whole like show on that, like diving into like the history, like where they came from, who's making them, what they cost is, because like people are really like that's another thing. That's a whole nother talking point in this space of like when it comes to dating and relationships, guys are like, well, fuck it, I'm just gonna get my robot.
I saw a special where that doll, the rubber one, she has my measurements, so I was happy.
You're like they modeled her after you.
No, but he's right, and it's only gonna with artificial intelligence and the progress. Yeah, in about I don't know 10 or 15 years, maybe it's gonna be yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Let me read this comment. Donovan said there is a new crop of girls, Instagram girls coming up every year. There is a girl turning 21 on OnlyFans and Instagram every day. Easy to be number one, hard to stay number one. Here's the thing. They don't have to be number one to monetize. Do you not see? This is the echelon of sex work. You don't have to be the number one. Bernice Burgos, I know some of you guys know her. She hasn't been relevant, right? In fucking decades. She's still on there dancing. And when I tell you she does her little wiggle, she's a grandmother now as well. Huge fat ass, huge titties, wiggle. And when I tell you her likes and the people commenting, she hasn't been relevant. She hasn't been in a freaking music video since who was popping since Dipset was popping long time ago. But go to her page and look how men are reacting to her. You don't have to be number one to stay at a certain level. Of course, there's levels to shit. Of course, Jennifer Lopez at 50 years old is going to get more likes than Bernice Burgos. But Bernice Burgos has made a living just by having a fat ass.
Delicious.
She's driving a Bentley.
Yeah, look at Delicious. We know her and Black China and all these women just literally their bodies.
Even the washed up. Superhead is pregnant from a 33-year-old man. Need I say more? Superhead.
You're naming outliers.
That's the problem. That's the thing.
They are outliers. Like you're not. Yes, these are all known people. We all know who Superhead. We all know who Superhead is.
Well, this is why they're not outliers, because you're forgetting, as Donovan said, as these new girls are coming up, guess who else is coming up? The 20-year-old athlete.
When I'm saying they're outliers, they are outliers for this reason.
Why they're not outliers?
I'll tell you why they are outliers. Not every woman is getting that success.
They're not outliers.
They are outliers because not everybody's getting the same success.
Take Superhead off the table. Now we live in a time where if a woman has a fat ass, she can share the same man as Kim Kardashian. She can share the same man as Khloe Kardashian. That's
theoretically, yes.
Not theoretically, but this is reality now.
Well,
that is reality.
Yes, like the opportunity is there for sure.
Check this out, Glendo. Khloe Kardashian and an Instagram, quote unquote, has the same baby daddy. Mariah fucking Carey has the same baby daddy as a bunch of Instagram bitches. This is not the day of old. Everybody has access to everybody now, long as you look good.
You're naming people, but you're saying you're listing people's names that everybody's known. Like they know the names. I'm talking about like we're only going off of
those women.
We don't know those women.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know how much of it's out there. That's what I'm saying. They're still unknown. We're only talking about the ones that are known, the names that we are known. Like we could Google. Oh, we all know who Mariah Carey is. We all know who Superhead is.
No, she was talking about the ones we don't know. We can't name one of besides Mariah. Name one of Nick Cannon's baby mamas, because there's about 18 of them.
He had like 11, right? Didn't he have 11
Right.
baby mamas?
Well, it's the
Yeah.
kids. I think it's like 12.
11
kids.
kids, or 12 kids, but like I just saw an article that about that, by the way. It was like the downward spiral from Nick Cannon. And I think it has to do with like the whole multiple baby mama drama.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's just too many headache. Man,
Yeah.
why
And
would you
so
leave
we're not talking about the known girls. I'm saying that the unknown girls that no one's ever heard of can now say, me and Mariah Carey, who's a global superstar, me and Mariah Carey share the same baby daddy. Same with Khloe Kardashian. These women are billionaires.
Sierra.
There's some woman that nobody knows that can say, me and Khloe Kardashian have the same baby daddy. So after he leaves that mansion with Khloe Kardashian, he's coming to my house because we share children. That is what I'm talking about. So they're not outliers. It's anyone with a nice ass on Instagram now. It's not like back in the days. Any unknown girl with a nice ass on Instagram. If I were to tell you the people that have been in my DMs and my daughter's DMs, the celebrities that have been in my daughter's DMs, she sends me the screenshots of household names, okay, who are hollering and hollering hot. But my daughter's real, like, she's bougie. She doesn't even answer. She doesn't even reply. She's
on red.
Yeah, she leaves them on red. But we have access to anybody. So a little old waitress who's flipping tables at TGI Fridays now has access to Shaq, now has access to, I don't know, LeBron James. Now it's not like back in the day where these women didn't have access. So these aren't outliers. These are just girls on Instagram that are cute.
No, I mean, when I say outliers, I'm saying like if it was that easy for everybody to do it, then no woman would work a regular job. Like if that was the case, like why would you go work for a regular job and do something you don't want to do?
There's a job shortage right now across America.
Well, there's not a job shortage.
No, I'm talking about people working the jobs. They don't want to work them.
Yeah, but there's also the hiring issue too. There's like no job growth either. There's like the job growth is dropped.
Like
because there's not producing
those
work.
Women are going in droves now to get those.
What I'm saying is, again, and I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying we don't know the longevity cost of all this, and that's where I'm skeptical about everything. Because it's like, what if, like, in this hypothetical world, if this was the case where any woman could just start making money off their ass, right? How long is that sustainable? For how many years? How many years is this?
As long as a man will pay.
That's what I'm saying.
Forever.
No, it's not not the same rate. Nowhere near, because the average girl.
But even when you retire, you're not making the money at the same rate.
Very true.
But actually, when you retire, you actually have enough money to live off of. That's what I'm saying.
But
really?
That's financial responsibility.
But again, it goes back to also you poured into this retirement account, right? You have the 401k. You put X amount of dollars in for over a certain amount of time, and then you get Social Security. This whole new market,
first of all, Social Security is on its way out the door.
Well, Social Security has been gone. Like there's no Social Security.
An Instagram model can make your 401k in a month.
Yes, but sustainability. It goes back to sustainability. It goes.
I hear what you're saying, Glenn. As far as your money and your 401k, which is so far true, but that also is very dependent on what the market. Like if the market just drops out, you're in trouble. Because you got all your 401k that's tied into the market. So that's not even a guarantee. There's nothing a guarantee. But
yeah, because like with Casanova, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, no, but I'm just reading what Caribbean Casanova said. He's right, because the statistics are like the 97% of the women that are out there, like on OnlyFans and on doing this stuff, are making an average of $200 a month.
I thought we already debunked that. We cleared this up. We cleared this up on the screen.
Yeah,
you was on that stream.
I provided the statistics, and that's what was being out there.
We broke them down. We demolished those statistics.
No, you gave your opinion and your theory on those statistics. There was nothing to support what you guys said. Okay, it was all opinion based. There was no facts to support that.
You'd have to be crazy not to see these women are banking big, and they don't give a damn who wouldn't date them, because the athletes will, the actors will, the wealthy men will. They don't give a damn about men saying, I wouldn't date her. She could do whatever she wants. You're not her market. You're not her customer. That's no
Yeah.
different than someone who Starbucks. I'm not their customer. I don't drink coffee. Doesn't mean that Starbucks isn't going to go on to be a $1 billion company. I'm just not their customer. I don't drink coffee. So it's the same thing when men are like, I wouldn't.
Yeah, Don Levon, they give their feelings about the stats.
She doesn't give a damn.
No, it's true. It's again.
Women are banking. They're spreading their toes on OnlyFans and making more money than men have in their 401k right now.
Absolutely. That's true. But it's not everyone. And it's not a majority. It's not a majority. It's a few selective people that are making that.
Few selective, or these women would not be butchering their bodies into BBLs. It is not.
No, it is. No, they're doing it to chase the dream. It's the dream. It's the opportunity that, hey, if I get this surgery done, I can be successful. It's just like any actor that, or any celebrity that tries to go to Hollywood and make it in Hollywood. What do they do? They go there to chase the dream.
That's a different game.
No, but it's the same mindset. It's the same mindset though. They're chasing a dream.
But definitely a different game because when I shared about the toe page I had with only 100 followers, I was pulling in money with 100 followers. I'm like, dang, and I wasn't doing anything but sit on the couch. Like,
but your toe game is your toe game is on fleek though. Like, who knows? Maybe at 80, your toe game is not going to be the same.
Like I told you,
you may get some granny toes.
Like I'm just saying, Erica's biggest picture was an accident of her taking a picture of her feet with the TV in front, and that thing went da 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 da.
As far as saying what's sustainable, right? I think human beings in general have proved, even when things are not sustainable and they're dangerous and they're detrimental to your life, they're gonna keep doing it. Football players, concussions, CTE, do they not suit up? Do they not get drafted all the fucking time?
But football is weak now. They've changed football to the point where I don't even watch it.
Okay, but same thing with bodybuilding. This can happen and this, and your knees and your back gonna be fucked up, and your hips, and you're gonna get your hips replaced and your back. Now you can't. People keep doing it.
Yeah, but they have also modified workouts, and they've also come up with new. I'm just saying that you're naming things that they have adjusted to make it sustainable.
But they can adjust.
But that's what I'm saying. There until they adjust the surgeries and stuff like that, and they adjust the approach on how they're done, and they mitigate the risks. That's where I'm saying, like the football, they've adjusted it and made it less, violent, because they notice the consequences of these guys. After their careers are done, they're not able to do anything, right? So they adjusted, how football is going to be played. You can't hit a certain way. They made these adjustments because of the consequences of playing football, what it had, the effect that it could have. I'm saying we don't know what these consequences are going to be in the long run. And like, I'm all for it. If girl, you want to go out there and get a BBL and you want to go out there and market yourself, do your thing. That's your hustle. I'm 100% supportive of that. I'm just saying when the consequences come back and they bite you in the ass, if they bite you in the ass, you can't say like, well, you can't complain about the BBL. You can't complain about the surgery that you wanted to get because that's what you chose to do. And now after the fact that it's not benefiting you, you want to be mad that like, oh, I got sold this lie. No, don't. No, that's what I'm saying.
But it's already proven to be lucrative, and they don't care the same way that a 19-year-old doesn't care that he can get a concussion or a heart attack or break a limb on a football field. Nobody cares. The lure is too shiny. The money is too shiny. People are going to keep doing it no matter what. Even when you prove, listen, if you play football, you can end up with CTE. You can have a heart attack. You can get your block knocked off. They still suit up and wait on draft day.
Paralyzed.
They still like, I want to get in there. And honestly, you know what I mean? BBLs, Instagram models, to me, it's a lucrative, fast earning business, right? And you can do it from your living room. There's no business like it on earth. Sex will always sell from 18 to 80. There is a pervert out there who will want to see, okay, a 75-year-old woman have sex with a 30-year-old.
Name one hot 75-year-old woman that could sell her ass right now on Instagram or on YouTube or anywhere.
I don't know their names because I don't know them like that. But people have shared their videos. But I don't know. I don't follow them like that.
There's a, like I say, there's porn. There's a market for it. I mean, there's granny porn.
Anything.
So
there's a market. Hello, Haran DeMarco. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's up? What's going on? I'm like, look, just to speak on what you just said. One of my first jobs as a developer, I worked at a porn site.
and we thank you for that.
You know, I worked at a porn site. And,
Civil service.
The main money grabber was midget sex. People loved watching those midgets. You know what I mean? And to sit here and be like, well, who would want to watch a grandmother fuck? Look, if motherfuckers want to watch midgets fuck, I'm pretty sure there's somebody's grandmother out there who's hot enough to suck a dick on camera and get a couple of coins.
Take a teeth right out. And
look, man, will she be able to rebuild her funds on that, her nest egg on that? Probably not. But will she be able to make some kind of coins? Yes. I think we're missing a huge section of the equation right here.
Mm-hmm.
The explosion of all this really has nothing to do with women. It really doesn't.
Whenever y'all want, just for shits and giggles, go to Pornhub and search 70-year-old woman porn videos, just for shits and giggles. Enjoy.
Are any of them midgets?
No.
Probably.
Who hasn't heard of Bridget the Midget? Come on now.
Right.
Before I forget my point, I think we're missing one big, huge component here. And me, my partners and I, we talk about it all the time. You know, BBLs ain't fuck the game up or whatever and all that. They did not fuck the game up. It's the motherfuckers who could never get close to women like Jen or Lily who fucked the game up. See, once those guys were able to jump in DMs and get a lot closer to women, or beautiful women they could never get, you know what I mean, close to in real life, that's when a lot of things change, because those women were able to monetize and capitalize off those kinds of guys. If you really want to get mad at somebody, you got to get mad at those dudes who constantly keep sniffing their ass at, you know what I mean, these women and so on, because guess what? Why wouldn't they make money off of guys like that? So if a guy like me says, oh, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that, and there's 10 or 30 other dudes waiting to give them money that could never be in the same doctor's office as these women.
Yep.
Who are they going to listen to, man? They're not going to listen to me. They don't give a fuck about what I say about, oh, you're going to die alone, and this is not the way, you know what I mean, this is not how nature intended, and blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck, man. I don't give a fuck, you know, and yeah, you know, later on in life, you know, it might not work out for you, and, you know, you might regret it and so on, but it's kind of how privilege works. You ride that bitch till the wheels fall off.
Yep.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's kind of like how privilege works. White people do it all the time.
So Caribbean Casanova, and then I want to pass the mic to all right, Glenn. Glenn gotta go. He said he gotta hop on a call. Do your thing, Glenny Benny. Then I want to pass the mic to Ms. Polly. Caribbean Casanova, you're one of those men that I talk about who is gonna get left behind. I talk about you guys often because you're still in denial and you always project your bitterness and your hate to the woman, right? That's banking off of tits and ass when you should be projecting your hate and bitterness to the men, like Karan just said. Like, don't get mad at them for selling the ass. Get mad at all the men. And I'm sure if I go to your Instagram page, you're following a bunch of big ass bitches, right? But when the conversation happens, you want to act holier than thou or more moral than the next man. I guarantee if I went to your Instagram right now, you following a bunch of big ass bitches. You are the problem that you're talking about. You and men like you. So when I hear you say something as ignorant as reality is less than 5% of Instagram models are making blah, 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 You sound like a fucking ignoramus, because right now, what I do on social media, and you guys barely see me on Instagram, I'm making a living wage. So what the fuck are you talking about? Right now, if I didn't do any gig on the side, if I didn't write, if I didn't sell my comedy, I can make a living wage right now. Okay, the math is mathing, finally. The math is mathing, Caribbean Casanova. I can make a living wage just what I'm doing here right now in my Instagram reels. And I haven't even started monetizing my TikTok and my Facebook. So how the fuck are you going to sit there, okay, and tell me that a bitch who's getting naked and has 100 times more of a following than I do is not making big bank? Like, you guys are willfully ignorant, I think is the category y'all fall in. Y'all are willfully ignorant. You want so bad for these women not to be making money. But these women drive better cars than you. They live in better homes than you. They have a better retirement plan than you. Their fucking portfolio is better than yours, okay? They have 3 or 4 pages that they're monetizing. So it's like, but you're hell-bent on a 0.5%. And these women are banking. If I'm banking and making a livable wage on a little bit that I do, how fucking stupid do you sound when these women have 5 million followers just clapping cheeks? How much money you think they're making if I'm making a livable wage? How much money do you think they're making? It's like, these dudes don't understand how prostitution works, how the sex industry works. Like, they're completely fucking clueless because they're so hell-bent on trying to diminish women. They want women not to be making money. These women are living better than you, doing a lot less. Like, so much less than you. All they got to do is throw up a selfie or upload a little video to their OnlyFans, making money hand over fist while you're in a chat talking about, let the 0.5%, they're not making no money. Like, you want that to be true so bad. And I would like it to be true for you so you could feel better, but you are willfully ignorant, beyond repair. Like, beyond repair. Like, there's no helping out.
I just want to say also on that the data also says that the average person barely makes a livable wage. The average white man makes $50,000 a year. The average black man makes $47,000 a year. So if you really want to talk about who's barely making a livable wage, brothers ain't it. White men are barely it. So, ain't nobody really, or very few people are really out here caking. Okay? You know what I mean? If we really want to call it what it is, very few people are really out here caking like that.
And usually the ones that are like, going off on these women are usually their followers. Are
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you ask for this man's Instagram right now, if you ask for this man's Facebook right now, I guarantee, listen, I would put $1,000 of my livable page. I would put $1,000 on he is following big ass bitches. I would put a fucking grand on it. That if you went to his Instagram right now, he's following big ass bitches. But these same guys want to go, they making 0.5%. They're not making no money. These women are going to get BBLs. Do you know how much a BBL costs? Do you know how much a tit job costs? Do you know how much those $3,000 wigs cost? Do you know how much the clothes cost that they're wearing? Who the fuck is buying it? Who's buying it? Who's buying it? Who's buying the surgery? Who's buying? These women are in hundreds of thousands of dollars of surgery. The wigs cost $1,000 to $3,000. Lily, you know how much the hair costs. The makeup, the glam squad. Who's buying it? Since these women are not making no money. These women are only making 0.5%. They're not making no money. Meanwhile, she's pulling up in a Bentley. What are you pulling up in, sir? Like, the willful ignorance is not cute. You sound fucking stupid. Like, look at what it is. Don't hate, congratulate. Shit, try to get with one of those women so she could put you on to how she does things behind the scenes. That's what you should do. Don't hate, congratulate. Don't hate, participate. And that's the problem with a hater, that they want to stay and point and, yeah, that's not gonna work. And they're not making no money. Meanwhile, these fucking 20-year-olds are blowing past you. And you still depending on your fucking 401k after blood, sweat, and tears and 25 years of working for the man. Like, y'all sound crazy. This is the future, whether y'all like it or not. And you evolve or you evaporate. Like, y'all sound dumb as fuck. Like, 0.5% of Instagram models are only making money. How does that sound, Lily?
Fake as hell. Fake news. Fake news.
My only issue is that some of them, I mean, like, hey, if you're gonna go do it, some of them need to stop messing around in the chitlin circuit and take the show a little bit more global and mainstream. I can help you, baby, if you give me opportunity. I know a few people.
What the fuck, Aron?
You know what I mean? Hey, look, man, look, all I ask is a good 10%, baby. I'll make a couple of phone calls. We get you with some judges, some lawyers. Don't be messing around with that bullshit ass chitlin circuit money.
Listen,
take this global, baby.
The money comes in, and it's almost like you hear about it, like people that are doing really, really well on social media. Like, you hear about it, you don't really believe it at first. You're like, come on, you just do X, Y, and Z, and then you blah, 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 and the money just rolls in. Yeah, right. And then you start doing it, and you see that money rolling in. You was like, you wasn't shitting me. This shit is real.
It's real. It's real.
It's real. And this is coming from a woman who doesn't have a BBL, who's not 25. So imagine what those 25-year-old girls are doing with the fucking BBL, with 1 million idiots clicking like on their pictures, buying their OnlyFans every month. Are you fucking kidding me? That's why these women are killing themselves to get that BBL, because they're banking. They're banking. Fuck a desk job. They like a desk job. Shit. Not with all these suckers out here.
No.
Me,
I'm telling you, these girls are not thinking about those old school 9-to-5 secretary. Like, they are so over that. Like, it's a different day and age. It's just that simple. They're
like, you're in denial. Like, no, but and it's funny because men feel like they said something or say, I wouldn't date her, I wouldn't marry her. She don't want to fucking touch you with a 10-foot pole when Shaquille O'Neal is in her DMs. That is our reality. It's like these men don't understand it because they don't have Halle Berry in their DMs.
Right.
And if they DM'd Halle Berry, she wouldn't answer. I am telling you, if I showed you my DMs, your fucking jaw would drop. Okay? Your favorite athletes are in our DMs.
Your faves is there, babe.
The men that you're watching from your couch and cheering on are in our fucking DMs.
They're there.
It's real. Like, it is.
That's the problem. A lot of these dudes think that their DMs are like women's DMs. They're not, man. You know what I mean? My DMs don't look nothing like the average woman's DMs, man. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Because somewhere in that just nest of just lust and weirdness, there's a guy making 200 grand, there's a guy who's a millionaire, there's a guy who's a this.
I can just
look at that shit. Look at that shit. My shit.
I don't want to blast nobody.
No, they can't see.
My shit is filled with washed up fucking prom queens. I got broads who are like shooting way past their skis. You know what I mean? Like, you see, if I scroll, I might hit a good 7, or even an 8 on if I wear a tie in a fucking picture, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, I
will listen, Haran. I will disagree. We get very hot women in our DMs, but they're usually trying to get money out of us or get us to go to their page.
That is the other side of it. That is the other side of it. Like, immediately when she's bad and it's too
hey, how you doing?
Quick, when she's bad and it happens too quick, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we
go. Atheist is funny. He says most of these women have a few dumb tricks. That's
all you need.
Life, baby.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
That's the life.
Baby.
That's the life right there. Just have 1 or 2 or 3 good ones. That's it.
And all it takes is dumb tricks. You don't even have to have smart tricks.
Right.
I did an experiment one time before. I told a female friend of mine, I'm like, let me tell you how hard it is for men out here to really get women half of the time. I want you to do me a favor tomorrow. I want you to just go up to a guy and say hi. Don't ask for nothing. Just say hi and just spark up a conversation. And she did that shit with a dude, random dude. The motherfucker sat there, thought that he was getting filmed. He thought he was about to get punked. He thought he was about to get robbed. He was like, yo, what do you want? Because men aren't used to, find women just jumping out of the bushes, unless he's in a particular kind of car. She knows he's making this kind of money. Just random walking down the block, and boom, Halle Berry jumps out of nowhere. You're like, man, get the fuck out of here. What's going on? What's really happening? And men most of the time aren't used to that. So this is the kind of situation that you see online. You're bringing, a lot of these dudes are bringing their perception to the table, a lot of times, and they don't know that, no, these girls are living a completely different life. But you see, they understand that once they hit a particular tax bracket, now your DMs are looking different. Now your situation is out there looking different. And guess what? You know what you're going to do? You're going to live that shit up to the fucking fullest. Some chick is probably going to tell you like, oh, you shouldn't be fucking all these hot models and all these women half your age. Don't you need a wife and you need a this, and this is not how a man of God should behave. And you going to hit everything fucking moving and squeaking. And after it's all said and done, then you'll look back, you'll have your regrets, and then you'll just basically take whatever you're fucking qualified for, like a respectable human being.
Caribbean Casanova, don't go pink on me, baby. Don't go pink on me. He's like, personal attacks on me. Motherfucker, you was just saying that I wasn't living in a real world and blah, blah, blah. And now I throw a little alien acid on you. You getting pink on me. Don't get all pink and glitter on me, all right? Don't get pink on me. All right. Respectfully, I don't have to know you personally to recognize the mindset. You are not an anomaly, sir. You're on social media in droves talking about what women are not making. And as far as he said, Glenn told me name one woman. The reason why I fucking didn't name one woman is because they are unknown, idiota. I know you speak Spanish. They are unknown. That's why I cannot name them. Those women are unknown. However, they have the same baby daddy as Mariah Carey, okay, and Khloe Kardashian. That was my point, that they don't have to be known to land a quote unquote dumb trick that will change their life. Do you think that the basketball player that got that woman pregnant, who's also the baby daddy of Khloe Kardashian, you don't think that fucking child support she's getting changed her life? He's a dumb trick.
John Watson is just realizing he's backstage. Okay.
No, he's been backstage. I told him cam up, so he didn't want to cam up, so I just left him sitting there. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say cam up. Yeah, you got to come up here with your face. What's up, C. Sinatra? How are you, sir? Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Some point, blah, blah. It's like it's a broken record with these guys. They're in denial. Meanwhile, these girls keep making money, and they keep showing up in chats talking about what they don't make. Meanwhile, the girls keep making money, and they keep showing up in chats talking about what they don't make. This shit is crazy to me. It's
no, look, listen. Another comment I'm seeing, that a lot of these one of these people are basically saying that porn stars out here, men don't respect them and so on. Let me explain something to y'all, man. Prostitutes really don't care if you respect them. They would care if you have the money to pay for whatever the fuck you're about to do. It's kind of the nature of the fucking business. Like, because let's be real with each other. In that point in time, do you think she respects you?
Right.
Do you think somebody respects a fucking John?
I can tell you.
Do you really think that a John or a Trick or whatever, they're at the upper echelon of respectable men in the food chain? Really? Okay. Okay.
Caribbean Casanova, I'm a quick study, right? And if you guys want to be seen as different from the guys online that are talking shit about women and how much they don't make. If you got, not on me, but if you want to look different, right, then don't parrot the same talking points. But all of you, and I mean all of you, change one verb or noun here and there. You all use the same fucking dialogue. All of you. And I mean all of you use the same dialogue. These women are getting paid, and they're getting paid a lot faster than you've ever seen money coming in. I fucking guarantee it. I guarantee it, without seeing you, knowing you, meeting you, or even hearing what your job is. I know if you're in the chat talking about what women don't make, it shows not only an ignorance, but a willful ignorance. Because you think these women are not making money hand over fist really, really quickly. So that shows to me that you don't know how money, prostitution, sex work works. That tells me you don't understand the technology of today. That tells me you don't understand the John or the customer of today. That's what that tells me. So I don't have to know you to know you're ignorant to the game right now. You still stuck on the old pimp game. The
Caribbean Casanova.
only way they can get money is walking on a street corner. It's a new dawn. It's a new day.
Caribbean Casanova. He's directing a question to me. Inform of the reality of most porn stars is that they make chump change. Reality of most Instagram models that they make chump change, if anything at all. Okay. Let me explain something to everyone in the room.
I can't.
Let me explain something to everyone in the room. What we're discussing right now is the entertainment industry. Now, I don't know if anyone ever told you this. And we'll throw sports in there too. I don't know if anyone ever told you this. But most people in the entertainment world don't make any money. Most makeup artists don't make any money. Most actors don't make any money. No, most musicians don't make any money. Most comedians don't make any money. You know what I mean? Most porn stars don't make any money, and blah, 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 so on and so forth. But when you're Dave Chappelle, when you're Gina Jameson, when you're some of these Instagram models who have, like, I don't know, a 38 H cup pair of fucking tits. Yeah, those chicks make money on OnlyFans.
Yes, they do.
Because somebody's going to want to see those 38 H LMNOP cup fucking breasts. You know what I mean? Most people in America don't make any money.
Right.
Okay, what do you think? The average, you know what I mean, 9 to 5er. You think he or she is fucking caking?
He's not the average 9 to 5er is not touching the average OnlyFans girl with the BBL.
The average 9 to 5er is not touching a stripper.
Right. So they're like, I'll take my chances.
The average one, let me tell y'all something. A lot of y'all really are a little bit too young to know this. But the IG model, craze and so on, that shit is about as popping as Hunts Point used to be back in New York, you know what I mean, in the New York days. And if you know what I'm talking about, Hunts Point was that spot. Them chicks were fucking caking. There was lawyers, doctors, and judges going over to Hunts Point.
Yep.
Those women were making money.
And you know what's funny? A lot of these girls have started posting how much they make on their OnlyFans. They've been posting how much they make. That's what he needs to see. He needs to scroll Instagram, scroll through them big booty bitches you following, because some of them are now starting to post how much they make on their OnlyFans. Since they make 0.5% and they make the same thing a waitress would make. Go take a look and see.
And speaking of that, when I was waiting tables, I was making more than the average 9 to 5er. And I was in and out, never worked more than 30 hours. And those girls are making more than I was making waiting tables. So, yeah, no.
But the point here that I'm making is that even though the average Instagram model, the average person doesn't make it, even in entertainment and even the sports world, the average athlete is not going to going to go pro. But guess what? Motherfuckers still send their kids, to these camps, to shoot for pro. People still get involved in the entertainment industry, so on and so forth. People still do it knowing that most of the time your chances of going pro and getting paid are slim to none. Motherfuckers know that winning the lottery is slim to none. That shit still to this day is still a huge moneymaker, because the opportunity and the chance to go big will always be alluring. And these women, they go to DR to get cut up and dressed up and, you know, get all kinds of tar and cement pushed in them, you know, and they come back. And guess what? They do get paid. Some of them do die on the table, so on. It's sad, but it's going to continue to happen. And as long as these girls continue to do it, they're continuing to do it because why? There's always a good 1,000 dudes that they can at least make some money off.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? There's a couple dudes in the chat who are, you know, for men that don't follow these big booty bitches, they sure do know a lot about them. They sure. I mean, look at it. The average stripper lifeline is 5 to 8 years. Who does that research? The other one. The Instagram models only make 0.5, but you sure do a lot, and you sure do know a lot about them. About these women who are making minimum wage, clapping their cheeks.
They're studying.
Oh, you know, I did want to say something. I'm sorry. I know my mic sometimes echoes. I apologize if it is. But I get what they're like. The men in here are saying like the 5 years, all this. At the end of the day, if let's say she gets 5 years, a lot of times, a lot of these women are stopping careers because men are asking them not to, or I want to date you, can you not? A lot of strippers, they'll keep dancing a lot of times if they don't have anyone. A lot of this is like a request of, oh, boyfriend, can you stop? The women who are, you know, they're like, okay, I want to try something different. Let me not hurt someone's feelings. They're getting connected to whoever and trying to change it up. Most women aren't not looking attractive after 5 years. I mean, especially women who are literally physically dancing for 8 to 10 hours a day. They're not, a lot of people don't know how even the system works. And I was a dancer, so I do know. You don't go in at 10, you go at 7 to pay tip out cheaper. And you stay your ass there to 2, 3 in the morning. It's not, you just go in, you're sitting there for 3 hours. That's not typically how it works. So you're saying girls at 5 figure, no. There's women who take breaks and come back. There are men who like to see older women. Some guys actually don't like to see the 18-year-old or don't like the conversation that they have. They want an older woman. Hence, that's why you see that there is a place where people, what is it called? Oh gosh. You know, escort services where you can find a woman who's going to be refined. They were shown the sex, you know, the sex area where you sex game where you're just selling sex. Men are going to purchase. No matter what you say, you can't say someone's too old, someone's too fat. Somebody likes it. And if you say that there's only a short percentage, it is stupid to say that. I will say that because if it wasn't working, why are they keep doing it? It wouldn't make sense. It just does that. The math does it has the math. If no one wanted to see feet and it wasn't making a lot of money, no one would show feet. If no one wants to see the girl who's 300 pounds sit on top of something, they wouldn't do it. And we're not even counting, we're just counting money people share with us. These are people who are taking on money under the table. You don't know how much a lot of these women are actually making. You're providing all your statistics based on money that they have to show someone, which is taxed. And who wants to show that? I don't want to show any money I'm getting taxed on as much as possible. So you're not going to tell everybody how much money you're running around with. But the facts are there. They're the ones buying the $5,000 shoes. They're the ones running around with all this money, and you're not able to track it because it's not traceable. Nobody wants to be able to trace it. Yeah, you may pay it on OnlyFans, but they'll get off OnlyFans. They'll start paying out of pocket. They'll pay a whole woman a place to live so they can come visit them once a month. You're not even counting those funds. So realistically, it is an industry. Sex industry is big. It's not going to get shut down. There's plenty of women to go around. It's easy work, and you don't have to do too much, and you will get a lot of money. And yeah, a lot of women, you say, don't have a lot of money at the end of the day because they don't spend correctly. You get these women all together in a group and show them how to use that money right and invest it, you'll see a difference. But we will get there one day, and then guys will be really shit out of luck because you can't demand shit when you have nothing to hold over any of these women. That's really what that is.
Period. And I want to say, Mr. Mind Over Matter, you motherfuckers never provide any truth. You provide feelings and manosphere talking points and red pill. You motherfuckers never have truth. As far as Caribbean Casanova, yeah, I know you have a multi-million-dollar blah, blah. I said before, over and over, maybe you're new, but I said all the millionaires and the gangsters are on YouTube. If anybody's looking for the millionaires and the gangsters, remember we used to have them back in the day? They're all on YouTube now. All the millionaires and the gangsters are on YouTube. Everybody's rich here. Everybody good here. Everybody's a gangster here. And for some strange reason, they just come hang out in my chat, all the millionaires. They're all here. All the millionaires are here in my chat. If anybody's looking for them, the FBI, the IRS, all the millionaires are in my chat. All the motherfuckers who are experts in hoeing statistics, they're all they're all here. If you're looking for them, all the guys that got the stats on the hoes and the $1 million, they're all in my chat. Anybody looking for them, put the word out. They hang out on the block with Jen in the chat. That's where the $1 million.
I would say Casanova, because he keeps going kind of on and say it's not him. It may not. Okay, let's say you're one of those guys who don't do shit. You don't pay to see big ass. You don't do that. You're fine with your boo, and she's got no ass, no titties, and she's fine, and she sweats like a pig. She don't wear deodorant. She's all natural, right? That's cool for you. But there are a whole bunch of other men who don't say that that's what they want. And when they see a girl, and most of these BBLs, let's be real honest, some of them can look real natural. I've seen a lot of women, I was like, oh my gosh, you look so lovely. Shoot, I wish I looked like that. I turn around, they're like, oh my God, this BBL. I was like, what the hell? I thought you was just a normal person. No. So to find a woman who hasn't done really anything, no lipo, no nothing. Even myself, I haven't done anything, but I just haven't done anything. But I consider it my damn self. It's just because at the end of the day, men are saying they don't want something now all of a sudden, but they are pushing it. If it wasn't attractive and no man wanted it, then why the hell are you guys supporting the women who do look like that? It's confusing then. That doesn't make sense, right? The math's not mathing. If no one thought BBLs and all that was sexy, the ones that get it done right and don't go to Mexico and don't go somewhere retarded, sorry for wording, nowhere ridiculous, you go and you get it done and you look good. And then everyone's like, oh, I want a round butt. Men are saying they like that. It's just facts. So you saying you don't want it, I'm glad for you. Don't look at them. That's great. Don't pay your money. But there's a lot more men than just you in the world. You cannot speak for everyone. You can't really speak for these large amounts of men going to these places. So I'm glad for you. Thank you for supporting us natural beauties, but it's not going to help anyone who's making all these money somewhere else, showing a little titty. I'm just being honest.
A little titty and a little toe.
A little titty.
That's a good name for all that. Little titty and a little toe. Thank you for the super chat, Fahim Jackson. Fahim Jackson says, social media is interesting with regards to our human interactions, but in the paradigm, we never see it. I wonder how society is really going to pan out. It's all fairly new, so we're experimenting now. We sure the hell are.
I just want to share my screen real quick. Can I do that?
Yeah. Do you know how to do it from your end?
Yeah, I know how to do it.
Okay. Because I don't know how to do it. I just know how to bring up your little screen.
Okay.
I haven't figured that out yet.
No, they don't want to be wifed up, Ice Nickels.
They don't
want to be wifed up, Ice Nickels. I know y'all hold on to the nuts of the idea of marriage, though a lot of you aren't married yourselves. They don't want to be wifed up. They could give a fuck about a ring. They want bags, shoes, and they want 1 million followers on Instagram. They don't give a fuck about being wifed up. That's why 75 to 80% of women file for divorce. Women leave men. Women leave men. Women don't want to have anything to do with y'all 75 to 80% of the time. And I keep telling y'all, if you don't evolve, you will evaporate. You will get left behind. You will get left in my chat talking shit about women like the rest of these duds. That is your future. If I had a crystal ball, I am telling y'all, if you don't evolve with women, y'all going to be stuck in chats talking shit about women. Nobody gives a fuck about your marriage. Nobody gives a fuck about your ring. Nobody gives a fuck that they're not your type. These new women do not give a fuck about y'all opinions. They do not give a fuck about your fake stats. They do not give a fuck about your manosphere talking points. Men have to evolve or evaporate. Period. That's it. Or grab your passport and get the fuck on.
They have options.
You do have options. Get your passport, get out of my chat, and get the fuck on. It's so simple. Life is simple. Why do people complicate life?
I just have to ask you a quick question. First of all, Google is, for some strange reason, this Google browser isn't allowing me permission. But anyway, that's some techie shit. You know what I mean? I'll figure that out later. Anyway, huh?
No, I was telling Ice Nichols money. He said, then what's the purpose? Money.
Well, here's what's peculiar to me. Like, I don't understand the obsession with the 304s and the women who are acting in a particular manner that so many men have an issue with. When there's a set of women who want to live a traditional life, they want to live a traditional life. They don't want to. They're not on Instagram. They're not on this. They're not on that. They're respectable women. They have low body counts. They're out there. Like, I don't understand why men aren't focusing on those women, because it seems to be very hard to find those women. You know, why? I'm seriously asking this question. Why are you concentrating on women that you don't want? Why are we constantly talking about women that you guys clearly don't want? Why? Like, what is the goal and what is the purpose? Is the purpose to make sure that all women behave in a particular manner? Because that in itself is a fool's errand, because in order to do that, we would also have to contend that all men would have to act in a particular manner. And we can't, because personally, I don't want to act like most of you. But anyway, you know, the point I'm making here is that there's an audience for what you believe in, your philosophies. Why is it hard to find these kinds of women, and where are you looking? Because you constantly keep harping on these women who hit the wall, and someone like, why are you worried about someone who hit the wall if, according to you?
Like, why are they single? Because you're right, there's a lot of pick-me's out there. They have channels. Right. They're all willing, ready, and able to submit. But these guys are obsessed with the hoe. And I think it's a resentment because these.
And there you go. You got a guy who actually admitted it now. Yes.
Right.
Because hoes are fun. He said because hoes are fun. Exactly.
But they also resent the hoe because the hoe has unlimited access to sex. They do not. They become obsessed with the hoe because they can't have her unless they have money or wealth or power. So they become obsessed with that quote unquote hoe. These men are not attractive. And if they're making money, any kind of decent money, they still have to pay because they're not attractive. Right? It's the same thing. And as far as I'm not moody. This is how I talk. I don't know if you're new, but this is how I talk. And if you can't handle it, again, get the fuck on. This is how the block works. Like, if y'all get pink, because let me tell you, you men talk a lot of shit, but then when I clap back, you get all pink and glittery on me. You put your pink panties on. If you can't handle the clap back, if you can't handle the clap back on the block, get the fuck on. Why do I got to keep telling y'all that over and over again? Either we're going to have this dialogue or you're going to take your pink ass out of my chat. I don't understand these men. Like, social media is the feminization of men. I'm not used to this. I was raised by a man. Like, I'm not used to y'all. This is new.
You know what? You said that they have access to not only sex, but the women have access to sex and money. Easy access to both sex and money.
They do not. And the men do not.
Okay, so here, Caribbean Casanova. The only bitterness that I hear is from someone trying to perpetuate that all women are popping and they're not. Well, here's the novel idea. You don't have to listen to them. You don't have to listen to them. Like, I mean, there's so many options available in these scenarios, man.
Here's the thing. That old women, or whatever he said, are more popping than when they're old, because these guys aren't wealthy. These guys in my chat are not wealthy. These are not wealthy men. So here's the thing. A MILF or a GILF, right, has still has more access to sex and to a man of means. These guys are at the wall. Like, they talk about hitting the wall, but they're at the wall unless they have money. And even when they have money, they have to pay for it because they are not attractive. They have to pay. And that's not an insult. That's not me taking a shot. It's just the nature. It's human nature. If a woman is not physically attracted to you, you have to pay.
Yeah, I think the people that are complaining the most is what it is there is as men lost the ability financially to control women, it's become harder and harder, and they really want to shame. So that's why they try to shame them, right? They try to shame women because that's the only thing they have left. They can't control them financially anymore. So now they're going to try to make you feel bad and tell you you're going to be, and they're going to tell you what you want, but you really going to want somebody in the long run. You really going to want, you're going to miss out, and nobody's going to want you. And that, it's all propaganda. It's all dogma is what it is when it comes down to it, because none of that is true. And like someone in the chat mentioned, it's women. Listen, look at the Mormon and then look at the stripper. Who do you want? You like the stripper. You don't like the girl, with the, and don't
tell
give me
them
this,
both to put up a page on the same day and see how this goes.
But the thing is that they want the stripper to like them for them.
Right.
It's the problem. They like the stripper. They prefer the stripper over the submissive, but they want that stripper to like them for them. And that's never going to happen. As far as what he's saying about the type of woman that's usually making these claims, well, what do the men look like that are usually making the claims that you're making? What do you look like, Mr. Mind Over Matter? What do you look like, Caribbean Casanova? If you had to stand up in front of 10 women right now in a Speedo, what do you look like?
Oh, Mr. Mind Over Matter came up here.
What do you look like?
No, he was a dude in the dark in the car who was talking in circles.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's that guy.
That guy.
Oh, shut up! Like he shouldn't even have a voice right now. That's who that is.
No, that's who that is.
Oh, bruh, like go home. Go back to the basement where you were. This is what I'm talking about.
Well, he's the one that said he can roast me. I said, "Oh, cam up," because I remember who he was. I was like, I'm not gonna sit here and type back and forth to nobody, but if you cam up, let's see how that goes.
He said that he would what?
He was gonna roast me for some reason. I don't know. He said he said I could roast you, but I'm being a gentleman today. I was like,
okay,
just cam up.
So check this out. Everybody say goodbye to Mr. Mind Over Matter. Say bye-bye. Bye. Bye. Fuck off. Goodbye.
I would have loved to hear his
Yeah, we don't I don't play it. I don't know why people keep playing with me. Don't play with me. Who else want it? Are you gonna be talking this shit in somebody else's chat? Who else want it? Let me know. These motherfuckers. Jeez, they're incorrigible. They're incorrigible.
That was the guy named Sean down the line. That was the Sean dude.
That's the dude that was talking in circles and rhyming.
Yeah,
the rhymer.
What were we saying? The suscitation of the emancipation, the proclamation times the station.
Yeah, the
cat and the gestation.
The tea.
Exactly. Do you understand where I'm coming from, my brother? And I was like, right.
What I'm saying is like no other. He was literally listen. Now he could watch without commenting, which is fine too.
Yeah.
Code Red. No, sir. Her trial ain't even come up yet. He said free veganista, please. She be lurking. She's already here. She's lurking. Veganista loves this channel.
Oh, Lord. That is absolutely. I mean, hey, look, listen. Like I said, I don't. Well, I guess it's just me. I don't spend time worrying about things and people that it's just not my market, man. It's just not my space. It's not my speed. I don't worry about this shit, man. I concentrate on, where I go. Look, if there's a concept in life, it's called the sales conversion rate. All right, it's called the sales conversion rate, and the whole concept. This is for sales. The whole concept is that you know, I mean, on average, can convert like maybe 3 to 5%, maybe even 10% of your prospects. I don't know. But anyway, it's based on this one thing. You usually throw your sales pitch towards sales leads. Sales leads being people who have a higher probability of selling whatever you're trying to sell to. Meaning, if you sell porch chops, you're not trying to sell this shit to vegetarians. It's just not really gonna fly.
Right.
You know what I mean? The probability of your success decreases the more the lesser that the people that you're trying to sell this whatever the fuck you're trying to sell to actually would buy your product. Now, let's use hoes for a minute. If hoes are in a particular situation in life where they're young, fairly young, or even older, and they are people who have a plethora of options, unless your sales pitch or the benefits of your product is absolutely astronomical, they're not, and they don't have to listen to you, because 9 times out of 10, one of those options that they have is absolutely astronomical in comparison to you. So what do? Person with average benefits, average stuff, average person. Well, in order to increase the probability of your success, you go to an average person who has less options, aka a pick me.
That's
See how
right.
the math is mathing when you kind of sit down and really think about it, and you say to yourself, my sales conversion rate can increase if I take my average ass over to women who don't really have that many prospects, don't mean that many options. But the irony of it is that many of you did, and you called it passport bros.
Right. If you on a McDonald's budget, stay up out of Houston's. Go to McDonald's, get your little dollar menu value, whatever is in your budget, financially, look wise, whatever your options provide. But that takes honesty.
Let's explore this. And then we went so fucking way off topic, but this is good. We always float around.
Right.
But this right here, what say you, gentlemen? Because I don't see it, but I'm not a man. So you guys could probably dissect this one. Ice Nichols says, people tend to talk about men that don't do shit in life. Men are ever evolving as women are, making more money, etc. Do you disagree? Most have their shit together. Men always have to pay, ugly or not. That's a great question. Let me pass it to the men. Are men ever evolving at the pace that women have evolved, what we're seeing today?
No. I know some successful men. I hang around mostly successful men, and we contend that most men are not successful. Most men were successful and ever evolving and exceptional. Then the average salary would be like 80,000 a year or something like that. It wouldn't be 50,000. No, men aren't ever evolving. No, they're not. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of archaic ideas that are still out there that are keeping men back. There are a lot of archaic ideas, that we need to let go of. Archaic ideas about educational institutions, the understanding that finances created a lot of the gender politics that we have now, power dynamics, and the sharing of power, and the inclusion and exclusion of certain people and things are creating a lot of the issues that many men are having at the moment in time. If you're ever evolving, here's the big question. If men are ever evolving, why do you want to go back to a time like the 1950s? How does that make fucking sense?
Make America great again.
If you're ever evolving, why do you want to go back to the past? That makes no fucking sense.
I
You
want
know what I mean?
the kitchen barefoot, and I don't want her to work, and I want her submissive to me, and she has to fit in my masculine frame. She's got to have a big pair of tits and be quiet when I tell her to be quiet. Matter of fact, she should know when to be quiet before I even ask, okay? When I walk through the door, I want my boots taken off. That's what the fuck I wanted. She better spit out 2 or 3 babies for me. Mostly boys. I don't have a need for girls. That is what they're doing.
But you know what, though? There's women out there who do it for them.
Right.
I don't
It's okay.
understand.
It's
Like,
okay, right? It's totally okay. But you
like
don't want her.
you go get you a hatchback, you know, roll down to Kentucky. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Find you a good mate and figure it out, man. Like it can happen for you, baby. It can happen.
No saints.
I'm here.
Are women of, sorry, are men evolving at the same rate as men are, as women are? I think that's a great question. What say you?
Well, you know, evolve is a kind of a tricky word. If we're talking about are they evolving, obviously not. Many are not evolving emotionally. Like Haran said, they're looking back to a time that's past, and a time, which I may add, that really they only, because none of us grew up in that time that they're talking about, that supposedly was the perfect time in American, for some, in American history. For many, it was not a very good time. If you're talking about evolving, no, and if you're talking about financially evolving, no, because it's becoming, as Haran points out, harder and harder to make, unless you're at the top. It's becoming harder and harder to actually make a living in this country, and women, as we've said many times, are outpacing us, the men, in education, and so no, I don't think men are evolving at the same pace. I think we need to get out of that. If you're a young guy, you have to start reevaluating your position right now in society, and try to figure out a way, as Lily says, to be the best you can be, instead of trying to hold a woman down to a certain position, because that's not going to work. But women have so many options now; they're not going to be held down. Those are for people who are. Those are for the people who. What I'm trying to think of a word. Those are for. They're not going to be exploited anymore. Is what I'm saying. They have so many options that there's no reason for them to sit there and take your boots off when you come home, when they're out there making money too. Clean up your toilet when they're out there making money too, more money than you in a lot of cases.
When I saw something interesting and turning was when I saw there used to be a separation from like the hood girls and the college girls. Like there was a clear separation. These girls were too bougie to sit at that table, and no, girls, you can't sit with us. When I started seeing these college girls online, on social media, twerking, singing along to Cardi B, saying, yeah, that's my girl. And I was like, hold up, y'all's looking like them and they're looking like you. Now there's no separation. Everybody wants the long nails. Everybody wants to be at the pool parties with the fat ass. It changed. I saw that changing. So even those quote unquote good girls, those good educated girls, those docile girls, those submissive girls, even they're evolving.
Look at Chloe and Haley. Look at like you can't tell the difference between female rappers and R&B singers anymore. Strippers. All are given the same appearance. College girls, they're all kind of morphing into the same person. And whether we like it or not, it's happening. You have to deal with what is, not what you want it to be. Mm-hmm. So evolving looks like swimming with the current. And that's the bottom line. And a lot of people don't know how to swim with the current.
Yes.
I just want to respond to Ice Nichols. He says, it's sad to hear a man talk like this about other men. We need to go back to a time where we're building families, sir. We're talking like it's no hope. Build better families. Kids need a two-parent home. Ice Nichols, here's the thing. At the end of my statement, I basically said, you can still go build a family, because there's still women out there that are on board with what you just said. That's
exactly what you
saying.
said.
But here's the problem. See, you want to fuck my Friday night up. Don't fuck with my hoes, homie. Don't try to change my 304s and so on and so forth. I live a nice, wonderful life. I don't need you mucking up my situation with your traditionalism and your vanilla ways. Go get your pick-me's. Go live your life. Go get your picket fence. Go get your dog, whatever, and so on. I'm not going over there trying to corrupt any pick-me's because they ain't my speed, man. That's not how I go. But you want to come over here.
We're gonna have to do a whole show about that one day, because I think that is mind-blowing and great to point out. It really is. It's like, all right, who's somebody's capping because there are so many submissive women on the planet. There's so many docile women on the planet who want.
The problem is you guys don't got the game you think you have. That's
right?
your problem.
Why are these men having such a difficult time finding these docile, submissive women when there are so many of? Should I know some of them personally?
Me too.
Exactly. I know some of them
too.
Personally. They don't dress scantily clad. They don't talk back to men. They're very docile. I'm related to a couple. These women are out there. Why are men having this difficult time? Is it because they are fascinated and obsessed with this quote unquote hoe? Is their attention in the wrong place? These women are out there.
I know a woman that is a young woman. She's a young woman. She's in her she's late 20s, early 30s. Nice woman, nice looking woman. She does believe in the traditional home. Her and her friends, they believe in these ideas, so on and so forth. And she kind of at one point in time tried to allude to like, hey, maybe you and I should get together. And I was like, I'm poly. And she was, and it was just like, sorry, you're great. You're probably a wonderful wife and so on, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm sure there's a guy out there for you that you're looking for and so on. Obviously, they're in the chat. Maybe one of you can give me your email address. Maybe I can, help you out. I don't understand the problem is. See, the big issue is that I know what you guys want. You want me to come up in here. You want me to climb up on this platform, and you wanted me to spit Andrew Tate and Kevin Samuels talking points. I'm not a dick sucker. Okay? I don't tattoo men's faces on my body. I don't call men the most charismatic man on the planet. Some of you guys do it.
Top G for you?
Top G. I don't refer to no nigga as no top G. Let me get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like some of you, the way that the way that a lot of you go so hard for some of these dudes, you might as well grease up your backside and grab your ankles. The way that some of you go so hard for these guys, I don't go hard like that. You can call that some simp shit. I don't give a fuck. As long as I'm not thinking like you and I think like me, I don't give a fuck, man. Because when my computer power's down and I go to my life, I live a wonderful life, man. A wonderful, beautiful life that consists of not hating women. That consists of me having fun with real pretty girls, man. You clearly live a life where you're probably in your 40s and you can't even find someone to sit down and listen to your fucking nagging ass, man. You motherfuckers sound like nagging wives, man. I can't relate. That's not my problem, man. That's not my problem that out of millions of women, you can't find one woman
who cares
with the ideas.
Who cares what the percentages, atheist? Can you go find one? Who cares what the percentages?
And this is the thing, they will jump over they would jump over, go around, push out the way the woman that they're saying they want, just to try to get with a girl that's out of their league and then gripe about it on chats.
So is that the problem? Like
But
there should be a higher percentage of submissive women. Look, as a black man, especially coming from the 80s, as a black man, I have in my mind that the percentage of success for men like me is extremely low. That has nothing to do with me getting up and putting in the fucking elbow grease. The white man will always have the benefit of the doubt before me.
Right.
No questions asked. They'll always have that. I don't use that though as a barrier to my success. I go out there and make shit shake. The woman is out there. Go and find her. You claim to be a leader. You claim to be an alpha. You claim to be a motherfucking, dude who makes shit shake. Why does it have to be easy for you? Why does it have to be? Why it has to be 80% of women are submissive? Why can't it be 10 or 15 and you can still make something shake if you such a bad motherfucker though?
Say that, because here's the thing.
Don't get mad at me, nigga.
Listen, say that, because here's the thing. Whenever I've wanted to date or whenever I've wanted anything in life, I'm like, I'm gonna go get that.
It's just that simple.
It's just that simple. I don't sit around and it's like, what percentage of good men are out there? I wonder, before I put this dress on, I need some stats and I need them quick. I need to know what percentage of good men are out there, what percentage of men make six figures. Who gives a fuck? If I am, what qualifies for that? Who cares how many submissive women there are on the planet? You don't have what it takes to qualify for one, go out there and get one. Who cares what the percentages? Who does this? I'm laughing at Tova's comment. She said, these men want the hot Latina that looks like Jen, but submissive and quiet. Here's the thing. Unicorns are a nice idea, right? They don't.
So you got to hunt for the motherfuckers, right? So you got to go find them.
They're a really nice idea. They look cute on t-shirts, but unicorns don't exist. We love them, though. We love the idea of them, but they don't exist. Submissive.
Go ahead and crush that dream.
Get that dream out the way, fellas. No.
I just think that, we're in an age right.
He's a have not. He's pessimistic. He's like, you were trying to make it look like there's lots of submissive women available. There are.
There really are. There really are.
People who are getting what they want out of life are not angry.
Nah, they're really not, man. They're really not. Look, listen, man. I used to grow up with this dude who, this guy was ugly as shit. But this dude would eat with the chicks, man. This dude would eat. We all know, Lily, Jen, we all know from the block. There was always this one guy. We was like, how the fuck did he get up? Like, how was he getting all these beautiful women? Like he was just eating. There was times when I ain't even gonna lie, even I hated it a few times. Like, how the fuck is this nigga eating like this, man? What the fuck? Must be hung past his fucking kneecaps. I don't know. You know what I mean? But the point of the matter is that he had a way that worked for him, and he was able to basically strike oil. Everybody can't strike oil, man. Your mindset is 90% of your success rate. That's real life. Your mindset is 90% of your success rate. So if you jump into the situation saying that ain't no money out here, ain't gonna be no money out here. Ain't gonna be no money out here. And that kind of mentality, that's the fetus mentality. That's a fucking loser. Losers think like that, man.
I love.
Because if you was a real winner, if you were real winners think like this, man. Real winners go out into a field where there's absolutely nothing, and it looks barren, it looks depleted, and they say, "I found it. We gonna make something shake out here." And these motherfuckers turn that shit into Las fucking Vegas. That's genius, nigga. That's a winner's mentality. When everybody sees nothing but barren land and sees no opportunity, winners actually go out there and make some shit shake. How you gonna do it? I have absolutely no clue, man. You're your own person. I guess you're gonna have to figure that out for yourself, man. You know what I mean? But don't get mad at guys like me because I don't think like you. And you want to call me a simp and a sucker because I don't have a defeatist mentality like you do. I'm a black man in America. I can't afford to have a defeatist mentality because if I have a defeatist mentality, I don't eat. That's reality. Stop worrying about a broad, man. You know, that's the problem with a lot of you motherfuckers. You worried about a broad every fucking minute of your fucking life. Every fucking 5 seconds of your life, you worried about, ain't no submissive broads out here, man. Ain't no submissive broads out here. Motherfucker, won't you worry about ain't no stocks out here. Ain't no money, ain't no $1 million opportunities out here. What change your thinking, change your mentality, change it, because trust me, when you start worrying about things like that, when you start concentrating on shit like that, the broads are gonna start worrying about, hey, how comes there ain't no more motherfuckers out here like you? And I'm gonna leave that shit at that, man.
I like what Don Levon said. He said 100% of women are submissive to the right man. So there goes your statistic, atheist.
That's the truth. There ain't no lie been told there.
100% of women are submissive to the right man. I build shit.
No lies told there. No lies.
Jen is very submissive to the right man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Still remember his name. It was a starry night, warm breeze of the summer.
As you heard the birds tripping aloft in the wind.
All that good stuff.
And the heat at his touch and shit like that.
Felt the warm wind through my hair. And I melted.
This sounds like a perfume commercial.
You can smell the freshly cut grass.
I'm seeing you running through the meadows holding hands.
It's possible for even me to be.
But seriously, man, why don't we? I don't hear in these manosphere spaces. I don't hear nobody talking about money, man. I don't hear nobody talking about stocks. I don't hear nobody talking about financial futures. I don't hear anyone talking about, how can we invest in property? How can we build as men? I don't hear that many political discussions in regards to, the importance of being politically agnostic if you really want to, move forward as a man in society and really move forward as the decision maker in society. I don't hear none of that. All I hear is why these women ain't submissive. That's all I fucking hear.
I told you they're reject support groups, and men that think like that
and it's weird.
They're reject groups. They're not like groups where they improve men and all of that.
Like when you're online, you don't see it, but think about it for a second. You're online and you're on Reddit and you're reading all these comments and so.
Oh my God, you watch Fresh and Fit? Oh Lord!
I saw that, I realized what you were dealing with.
Like you should really be watching some people that listen, honey, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. If your parents couldn't raise you up to be someone that doesn't watch Fresh and Fit, I can't help you. Good luck.
I mean, well, he's always coming with the Kevin Samuels quote, so I wasn't shocked when he wrote that.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, damaged goods. Damaged goods. All right, guys. With that said, I'm telling you, I wish we had that cliff of Sparta. I mean, that ditch isn't even big enough for everybody. We'd have to chuck over the cliff in Sparta in the movie 300. It'd overflow. With that said, we will end tonight. We went all over the place, people.
It was good though.
It started with, do women want marriage more than they want a husband? And we ended up with how much the hoes make on Instagram.
This is they don't want to believe it. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Because while they're not believing it, them women are getting cake. And salute to them.
Right.
Salute to them. The men are going to pay. Salute to them.
Right. Everybody's getting what they want out the deal.
Oh, so wait a minute. Y'all believe in Bitcoin? You know what's funny about Bitcoin?
What?
I just want to say this one funny thing. A number of people, so many of you patted yourself on the back for not being susceptible to getting the jab and the government couldn't put one over on you. But you let motherfuckers actually make you believe that Bitcoin was truly the future at this moment in time. You did not question it. You thought that this concept, and I've been watching Bitcoin for years, you thought that a digital currency was going to revolutionize the financial system from top to bottom within 48 hours. You believe that shit. You believe that shit. There's so many layers to that. There's so many layers to that. But I'm gonna let you guys cook. You know what I mean? I hope your Bitcoin keeps you warm. You know what I mean? As well as fresh and fit and whomsoever makes you guys mad at the hoes. I don't know, man.
And what's crazy is that something's wrong. Like these guys are so much younger, like the Fresh and Fit, the Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
They're so much younger than these men that follow them, right? It's a little.
If somebody say I sound like Ving Rhames, I guess. I don't know.
What's up, E Scrapple? You late as hell. So no Bitcoin?
I mean, you know what though, Jen, man, I need to start really making money off this shit. You know what, man? I think I'm gonna start a you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start a charm school, man. And I'm gonna build some pick-me's, man. I'm gonna build some pick-me's. I'm gonna start me a nice charm school. And you know what I mean, and charge you dues, you know what I mean. It'll be a subscription platform, or it'll be a special service. I'm gonna help you motherfuckers find the woman of your dreams, man. You know what I mean? She's gonna be docile. She's gonna have a special dish that she can make, all kinds of shit.
There's also notice. I'm sorry for interrupting, but we're gonna close. But what I noticed too is that there's no discernment. Like this man is like fake submission. There's been hyenas that act like sheep. Yeah, there's no discernment with a lot of these men. That's why I like this comment here. Don Levon said there's no such thing as fake submission. Either she's gonna follow you or she's not. If you are not a leader, then she don't have shit to follow. I've never fake submitted to a man. Either I deemed him respectable, like someone I could respect, or he was not.
Or not. You can't fake submit.
And I always started out in my submissive frame, since people like the word frame. I always started out like that, and it always devolved when I saw that, okay, you're not shit, you're not a provider, you're not this, I can't respect you, I got to put the pants on, I got to go in my purse repeatedly, and then it goes away. So it's not fake submission. It's either you're worthy or not. It's not rocket science. They make
really
it
not
complicated. Very complicated.
I just have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I just have a quick question. What is marriage to the both of you ladies? What is marriage?
For me?
What is that? Both of you, yeah. Whichever one of you wanted to answer.
I look at it as the business arrangement.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I look at it in the same sense of starting a new business. With sex is a fringe benefit, right? And you have and partner like it's a perk, and as well as like having somebody that you can talk to and the pillow talk and stuff like that. But ultimately, it is a business arrangement, and it can be one of the best or worst business decisions that you make in your life. So that's how I look at it.
Jen?
I think it's a life partner. Somebody that you're going to grow old with, go through ups and downs with, your support system. That's what I would think marriage is. If I were to, the way I look at marriage, that's what it would have to be for me. Like I'm going into it like, this is going to be my life partner. This is going to be my confidant. It's going to be my rock. And then we'll switch every now and then. But that's how I look at it, like a life partner, like me and you doing this life shit together. Yeah.
Okay, now I agree with both of those. I agree with both of those, and both of them sound practical in whatever sense. Jen, it's real funny. What's ironic about your perception of marriage is that it sounds very, quote unquote, very submissive. but yet still in all, you're often, blasted for being quote unquote bitter and blah 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 and shit like that. So essentially, you just provided a perspective and just proved that there are women in this world who view marriage in the same context as most of these men who are bitching and complaining, in the chat. Now, here's the thing: do if there are women who look like Jen and think like Jen, and if there's one of her, there has to be at least 100,000 more. Why can't those men in the chat convince women such as yourself to follow your natural feminine directive, your actual feminine imperative? Why can't they actually do that? And maybe many of them need to sit down and ask themselves, maybe the problem's you.
No. Brienne, did you have that baby?
Right.
Brienne, did you have that baby? John Watson, I'm not letting you up here for $1, honey. Okay.
Wait a minute, you follow the MGTOW principle, brother? So you go and follow a bunch of men off into the fields? That sounds very homo, brother. Like, if you think about it, look, listen, if you think about it from a physical standpoint, and you go on Reddit and you see all these guys bitching and complaining about women, and you imagine that as a room full of men arguing, like 100 men arguing, and they're all circle jerking and they're all being supportive to each other, that looks weird.
Well, we need to go. John Watson,
She didn't have the baby.
I have no idea this man is offering me coconut water. No idea what the hell you're talking about. I am not interested. Thanks, but no thanks. Brienne said no. He's offering Zico cocoa water. I don't know what that man's going through right now in the chat. He's been trying to get up here for like the past hour. Couldn't cam up. Then he downloaded StreamYard. And I said if he wants to come up for the end, he could send me a super chat. He sends $1. Now he's offering me Zico. What? I bet he wants a submissive woman too.
And can't follow simple directions.
Brienne said had practice contractions yesterday, got all excited, and they stopped playing with my feelings, laughing out loud. Oh, okay. You went missing. So we were like, oh my God, that baby is here. Okay, so good. You're still good. Please keep us updated. You're gonna get all your gifts soon because we're all getting notifications, right, of when Amazon's gonna deliver. All right, so you're gonna get all the little gifts soon. All the orders are in. I know I'm being updated, so looking forward to getting all of that. Brianna said no, still baking her up. How adorable, a little muffin. All right, guys. So this was good. I didn't plan to go this long. I tried to go on earlier to get everybody out here early. Are we back mañana?
Sure, why not?
What's tomorrow?
It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Okay, it ain't Freaky Friday yet. Okay, cool. It's Thursday.
All right. And yeah.
All right, Thursday. So see everybody tomorrow. Tristan, you hella late. I'm about to dismiss the class.
Yeah, I'm almost at 1%, so I'm about to fade out here.
Dying. So let's get out of here, and we'll see everybody mañana. If you're still here, please hit that like and subscribe for Mama. If you're catching a replay, support me at Cash App On The Block with Jen. You see all the names on the screen. Please follow their YouTubes, and we will see you here tomorrow with some more fuego. Okay.
Same bat place, same bat time.
Yep. Oh, I got a t-shirt for that. Just kidding.
I love you all.
Good night.
Class misses. Good night, everybody.
There you go. All right, guys. So please hit that like and subscribe. Don't forget you could come up on the panel however you like on the next one, but you must cam up. We need your face. Thank you for holding me down in the chat. Yes, we'll ask the Cosmos, Brienne. We'll ask the Cosmos. Yeah, you should get all the little gifts. I'm so excited for you to open everything. Good night. Yes, Brian, you got all the aunties now. All the aunties and the uncles on the block. Don Levon, I'm going to end it with your comment. Whatever you said, I don't know what it is. Don Levon says, a woman being non-submissive is a survival technique. She will not submit to any man if she feels it will be the cause of her downfall. I'm just going to say salute, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, not going back. All right, guys, good night. See you tomorrow. Hit that like for me. And we're out.